Good afternoon. How's it going? It's a little short, little streamy weemy. Yeah, it's been a while, so come back strong today. Pull up my analytics. Chat rate says 1, but we got 0 concurrents and 0 views. Good one. I feel like pulling up some CSGO. I'm gonna get Steam pulled up. Oh, fuck. I'm probably gonna pull up over here. Fuck me. Fuck me. Yeah, whatever. If I dox my password, I dox my password. Whatever. We're chilling. Dox. Oh, hell no. Oh, hell fucking no. Y'all don't see shit. You didn't see fucking shit. Oh, it's called Counter-Strike. I need 61 gigs? Yeah, fucking... I thought Counter-Strike was like 2 gigs. Wait, why did I think that? Yeah, fuck it. Bling. Alright, let's pull up some good YouTube videos. I'm really feeling like finding something I can make a good, good like clips with. So I'm trying to look for it right now. Fuck it. Let's just watch fucking XQC, I guess.
Chat. Anyway, guys, today, guys, we're gonna do some educating content. I miss you too, man. We should catch up on these days.
Miami-Dade court is putting the controversial.
I guess I'm obsessed with this motherfucker. Apparently, this clavicular bitch.
World of looks maxing influencers under the microscope.
I keep sure we're doing some bad things. Scrolling down, scrolling down. Oh, okay, okay, another one. Scrolling down, scrolling down. Oh, here's the we can watch it. I'm just kidding. Let's just watch it.
An 18-year-old content creator is now suing Clavicular, whose real name is Braden Peters, and the
That's such a fucking bitch ass name.
allegations are disturbing. CBS News Miami's Peter Dench is your reporter in Brickell for
My name's Braden.
hotspot for social media influencers.
You did what?
The complaint in this case outlines a series of incidents beginning in 2025, with allegations including
Scrolling down, scrolling down. Oh, here's the
Watching XQC react to clavicular, some accusations with clavicular. Oh, this will be a good one.
we can watch it. I'm just kidding. Let's just watch it.
An 18-year-old content creator is now suing Clavicular, whose real name is Braden Peters, and the allegations are disturbing. CBS News Miami's Peter Dench is your reporter in Brickell for a hotspot for social media influencers.
You did what?
The complaint in this case outlines a series of incidents beginning in 2025, with allegations including battery and fraud.
Today we're touring apartments because I'm moving to Brickell.
Alexandra Vasilevna Mendoza, who goes by the online handle Laura Ziva, alleges that during a live-streamed event, Braden Peters injected her face with Aqualix, an FDA-unapproved fat-dissolving substance, without her consent. She claims Peters, known online as Clavicular, suggested the mixture contained methamphetamine and that she appeared visibly disoriented on
Get your face injected with meth. That's crazy. How do you do that without your consent? How's that happen?
camera. Mendoza, now 18, says she was a minor at the time. The suit also alleges non-consensual sexual encounters at Peters' family home in Cape Cod while Mendoza was intoxicated. Beyond the physical allegations, Mendoza claims Peters dangled the promise of a career, billing her as the, quote, female face of looks maxing, only to profit from her likeness and later orchestrate a campaign to discredit her, costing her sponsorships. The 4-count complaint includes battery, fraud, intentional infliction of emotional distress.
Chat, I feel like there are things in here that make sense, right? And some others that I'm gonna be honest with you, chat. It's like this classic Miami, it's whatever.
Stress and unauthorized use of name and likeness. Mendoza is seeking.
Like, no, how are you getting injected with meth when consensual? Like that doesn't happen.
On Wednesday, Peters posted on X, framing himself as a victim of women trying to, quote, screw him over and take his money. The lawsuit comes amid an already turbulent stretch for Peters.
You're usually pretty chatty. Anything to say?
Yeah, sure, man. Just woke up, I'm all tired, so maybe next time.
He was arrested in Fort Lauderdale in March on a misdemeanor
Jester.
battery charge and was hospitalized for a suspected overdose in Brickell earlier this month. The next day, Clavicular, who is 20, posted a picture of himself on X, showing his bruised and bloody face, which he attributed to, quote, my face descending from the life support mask. We reached out to Peters' attorney to see if either he or Peters would comment about this case, but so far we have not heard back.
Chat, like I always say, it kind of sucks that it's the way it is, right? But some of this shit is very scary, very bad allegations, right? That are absolutely terrible. And I empathize with the potential victims of these things, right? But then afterwards, then they say a bunch of malarkey. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to kind of take it all and say, oh, because I agree with this, and there could be a lot of validity there, that I also have to agree with this as well. I wish there was a kind of layer of separation where multiple cases are open or something. I don't know. I don't know how that works exactly, but like, you know what I mean? Like, when you lump the two blocks together, I don't know what to do.
$1,000.
What to think.
Damages. Count complaint includes battery, fraud, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and unauthorized use of name and likeness. Mendoza is seeking at least $50,000 in damages. On Wednesday, Peters posted on X, framing himself as a, quote, female face of looks maxing, only to profit from her likeness and later orchestrate a campaign to
Chat, when a case is this big and has this many implications, I'll leave it up to the court. And chat, when it's...
What did XQC start becoming such a legal cuck? Oh, I'll leave this up to the court, guys, for them to be, to make a decision in the court of law with a, unbiased fucking defense. What the fuck?
This thing, I lock in. When it's this thing, I lock in. When it's a couple things, I lock in. I have to be honest with you. There's so much shit here. I will leave it up to the court, and I'll make an opinion as the case develops. Like it is what it is.
What a weird PR answer.
Guys, I would like to do it because I treat people the way that I wish I was treated. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna be a hypocrite and say, oh, this is all true. But if someone says, XQC threw poo-poo at me, then what people did that to me now? Well, oh, it's all true. And guys, I didn't just, you know what I mean? Like, there's some form of mutual respect that I have to give others that I wish people would give to me.
Screditor, costing her sponsorships.
Like, I don't know what that means.
Of looks maxing, only to profit from her likeness and later orchestrate a campaign to discredit her, costing her sponsorships.
Like, I think that's like...
Oh my god, bro, she's not consenting. Whoa, fuck. Look at this, bro, she's not consenting. That's crazy.
Oh, is this the event?
It's like Needle's all fucked up.
Jeff Epstein just tipped $4. Yo, my nigga, I hear you got the plug for those fresh Stacy's. Hit me up, nigga. I'm chilling here in Tel Aviv if you ever want to party.
Dude, I can already see clips. Clav injects meth on think they're going crazy.
Chat, where it looks my...
Why, this guy just called it?
God, she's not fucking consenting. Look at her, she's saying no. She's saying fucking no right now.
Wait, what? Well, wait, this sideline guy called it.
He's forcing it. You can see that she doesn't want this. Guys. Fuck.
Dude, I can already see clips. Clav injects meth on think they're going crazy.
Chat, we're looks maxing her. It's all good. Dr. Clav? Yeah.
Okay, but what's the context though? Like what's the VOD? Well, I can see this being. I mean, obviously, chat. Okay, hold on. Let me break it down. You can.
She's too young to realize she can just say, "Hey, I don't want this meth injected in my face." What?
You can consent to like doing some.
Yeah, let's
I don't know.
Wait, what did she say?
You can chat. Okay, hold on. Let me break it down. You can consent to like doing some.
Yeah, let's
I don't know whatever they're
attention.
doing, right?
No.
And if somebody puts something in there that it's not supposed to be in there, then that's different. Does that make sense? Like I can see different scenarios. It's why it's like I don't know what I'm looking at. Like these are complicated components that I don't have the expertise to fucking deal with. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Oh, they're 17 years old? Oh, I mean, like I said, I don't know. I don't know. I'm
Yeah, it does change a little bit, but when you're 17, the fact of the matter is you still are able to still say no. And understand that injecting chemicals into your fucking face is retarded. You don't need to be 18 to understand that you don't magically turn from 17 to 18 and now it's magically you're able to consent to that. Or you're able to not be a fucking retard. When you're 17, you can know not to inject chemicals into your fucking face. She consented to it. I don't care if she's a minor or not. If you're 17, you're injecting chemicals into your face with someone else, you're consenting to it. You're consenting to it.
I'm going to assume. Yeah, pretty bad.
Hello,
I'm not going to
XQC number
assume
one
egregious and whatever they said on the interview.
I am graduating college and would like to borrow a bust down
Shame on
watch
you.
from you for pictures, please. XQCL.
Guys, if people were outraged at the age, they would have been outraged then. Like, it's why I mean by the internet is performative. I'm sure this clip went somewhere on the internet, and nobody gave a fuck. I'm sure this person was with this person on stream multiple times, and nobody gave a fuck. Now something happened, and everybody gives a fuck. I'll be honest with you. I didn't see the clip initially. I didn't know the components. I didn't see it. I don't know what are the exact facts. I'm not gonna just take this random guy's word for it. Like I would have to sit down and debunk it. Like, you know what I mean? Like I would have to debunk it. Like this is not. I know everybody acted like they had all expertise about all these topics instantly because internet says bad, so I'm gonna say bad. I don't know why. I know the components. If they end up being right and this one guy debunks it and he says, "Yo guys, it's actually wrong," then I was right. I got him. I know better. But if I was wrong about it, guys, I never spoke about this, guys. I wasn't even there. I wasn't even talking about this. I've never seen that before. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's why I don't make instant conclusions on this shit because I don't know the components, and I'm telling you, I don't know them. I'm not gonna act like I know.
Wearing eyeliner.
I'm not gonna say, oh yes, I know everything about this. I'm telling you guys that I don't know. I think that's the most reasonable that you can get. That I admit that I don't know.
It's $500. Age don't matter as long as you keep sliding.
Whoa.
Reminding.
63 goddamn months.
Pretty much 10x your
Thank
dose.
you for the laughs.
You just tipped $500. Age don't matter as long as you keep sliding.
Whoa, 500.
It's a spec. Wait, 500.
Holy
shit!
Oh,
He's standing on business.
Already.
Yeah, he's actually standing on business.
It's a spectrum for sure.
He's actually standing on a business.
Like the spectrum that this dude's on.
Actually standing. Whoa, that's fucking crazy.
So I know.
Bro, shut the fuck up. Yo, you guys in the chat are actually like gooner retards. Yo, $500. Holy
chat. Why not just date somebody of his age?
He's 19.
$3. A clap.
I mean, date somebody of his age. This girl's fucking like a year or two younger than him. What?
What's your opinion on Mexicans?
What's my opinion on Mexicans? That's a crazy question. I don't really have one. I'm more.
I love you, X, but that was the most retarded shit ever. So, bro, why are you doing someone's age? What? Instead of 19, 19 and 19 versus 19 and 17? Really? But she's a minor.
Or just like a looks max guy. Chat, what do you think about this? What do you think about this ascension that's inbound?
Does this remind you of your first week in college?
My eyes.
I'm just wiping everything.
Okay.
I'm not gonna actually inject there.
Okay.
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 See how she says
So,
okay.
oh wait, are we doing your cheeks or your nasolabial folds?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I hate these. And we could do the cheeks.
Yeah, let's actually. Yeah, let's do the cheek.
Oh my god. Oh my god. You see how she's saying we can do this or we can do the cheeks, we can do that? I thought she didn't consent. What? What? Oh my god. I see. He's manipulating her to say that. Holy fuck. Holy fucking shit. Look, again. She is consenting to this. Fucking retard.
Let's do the cheeks.
But she was 17.
We don't really need to do your nasolabial folds.
Really?
I should,
Those like
I should
piss
do my
me off.
naso.
Am I being retarded? Like, seriously. Tell me if I'm I'm wrong here. Because I don't think I am.
Those piss me off.
Chat. You know what? Regardless, I know the laws behind it. I'm not going to assume, but my feeling says, I think that this shit, whatever in.
Yeah, I think it's probably legally not consensual because, again, you're 17, getting chemicals interjected into you that age. I don't know if I don't know the legal stuff behind that, whether it's technically legally not consent. But when it comes from a human standpoint, she is consenting. You're 17. You have enough diction. You have enough intelligence. Somehow people maybe don't. Maybe this bitch doesn't. But you have enough intelligence to be able to make an informed enough decision not to inject chemicals that you don't know, some random fucking chemicals, including methamphetamine, into your face.
Injection mother sucker bullshit that they're doing. I think if you're underage, you can't really consent to having that. That's why I think that's how it works. I don't know how that works, but I'm pretty sure by default, de facto cannot consent to whatever injection from somebody else. And if somebody is in the age of majority doing that procedure, they are immediately.
Yeah, probably. Again, I don't really care much about the legal, how that it looks legally. She is consenting to it, though. I imagine she probably does have a case legally, but I'm not smart enough to understand how that would look exactly.
Wrong. And even if in this state it's actually not like that, I don't give a fuck. That my morality and my idea of legality of other states means that that's how I operate. So I don't really give a shit what it is. That's just how I see the world.
I think it should be fine.
Good one.
Yeah, I don't think you need that.
Don't forget to take the contacts out, Clive.
Yeah, well, we don't need to do
Wait,
it.
why?
What?
W Doctor, what are you doing? We're just doing some looks maxing.
Guys, we're not gonna get mad. We're gonna get
Yeah, we asked Tech. We can do this.
Thank you. Alright.
Dr. Maxing, let's go. Anyway, 1 second. The band, one minute.
Chat, what even is that anyway?
Moment. Relax. I need more swabs.
So it's like Dexter?
Wait, so are we getting rid of the needle fold?
No, we're gonna start with your, buccal region. Then we could potentially do that. What the fuck is it?
My morality is not dictated by legality. Absolutely not. Yes, it's usually a guiding line, but
It's pre-botch.
Don't it's not gonna get botched from this.
Yeah, you're crazy. So we'll do an ML.
When they say,
Chat,
oh,
now what is that?
Cope, or they say botch, it's like, how the fuck would it botch
Yeah.
if it's cope, right?
They're saying I'm the Bay Harbor Butcher. That's what I'm saying.
Your girl loved me, just tipped $3. Got prescribed my Addy. Thanks, bro.
W.
Enjoy.
51 sex QCL.
Experimenting on a random bob. This is so sped.
W, bro, you got your amphetamines, bro. W.
What is this schedule, bro? Lock.
W, bro. Fucking W.
The fuck in.
She's still a minor, you pedo bitch.
Bruh.
I'm 19 years old.
24 just tipped $3. Clav snort a line arcu.
Thank you. Are you guys actually that retarded? 17 and 19? Yeah, society's cooked. Society's actually cooked if you think that's bad. But anyway.
And he isn't wrong.
There's a lot of retards in the chat. This is not even a big deal. This is crazy.
Is it a 50-50 split?
Yeah,
Alright.
yeah. Lucky chat.
So I go all on one side?
Yeah.
If you're in my chat, you're beautiful. You're awesome. Number one, best chat. I love you.
Go for it, do you want to know?
Alright.
So why did people say meth though? Like, I don't think there's meth in there. Chat, I mean, what is it? I mean, it's a joke. They said that on their news. they said that on the news though. Let me the video.
Yeah, I don't hurt a bit.
Ah, that hurts a lot.
Oh.
Counters at Peters' fingers, known online as clavicular, suggested the mixture contained methamphetamine substance without her consent. Her face with Aqua Mendoza, who goes by the online handle Laura Ziva, alleges that during a live streamed event, Braden Peters injected her face with Aqualix, an FDA unapproved fat dissolving.
Aqualix. Was that like a peptide? Aqualix. Aqua Lyx. A non-surgical injectable treatment designed to dissolve stubborn, localized fat deposits that are resistant to diet and exercise. Uses a deoxychocolate compound. Is this like a... Is this a peptide? This is how you know if it's returned.
The suit also alleges non-consensual sex.
My stream went down. Oh shit. Are you back? Hello? Hello? We back? I think we're back. Okay.
Sexual encounters at Peters' family home in Cape Cod while Mendoza was intoxicated. Beyond the physical allegations, Mendoza claims Peters dangled the promise of a career.
Like I said, it's...
Month I feel like that?
Mm-hmm.
One more month chat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
67-month anniversary, I guess.
It's just weird though, like
31
too much, Myron, W Club. What?
Friend spam, please.
No, they're saying like too much, like just
opinion
too
on
much.
the angry ginger controversy.
I'm not a rookie.
Did you make sure to
This is gonna be like.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna take 2 swabs, and we're just gonna rub it.
You had to rub it?
Mm-hmm. Make sure it dissolves even.
King Fur Coat just tipped $5. What up, brother? What's that fat dissolver called? Is it something get online
me
or
with
got
your
to have
needle
connects?
X.
Also,
Yes.
I can help mod your chat during nights.
Yo, this is a fat.
Elite cuckold. Oh, bro, where'd you get your peptides, bro? I come on for you too, little bro, please. Please, daddy.
Dissolver called Aqualux, and you can easily buy it online. Yeah. Alright,
That was very intimate, bro.
$3.
it is very intimate.
Somebody in XQC chat said brain dissolver.
At least.
So are you doing it with me now? You gonna hold me like that too?
won't be careful what I say. I don't think be careful what I say. I mean, the images are on my screen. You like you act like I have to be better and at not spreading shit when these guys don't do a good job at not spreading misinformation about themselves. And now I have to be even better than them. Bro, this is fucking brain dead. This is brain dead. I don't give a shit. Even if it was a skit, then I would still be okay in commenting on it in any way that I want because let's be honest. It's literally misleading me
This
to
guy
believe
is
that.
just a
And it gets not, what do you guys in court?
Guys,
We are suing XQC because we rage baited him and he fell for it. Holy shit! Like what? Like that's just so stupid. Fuck
Absolute
off.
fucking shame on you. I've seen you around Collab numerous fucking times. Like, if he's such a weirdo, why are you consensually hanging out with him on the regular? For money? Like, just because you didn't get that money, dude. This bitch, dude. Like, I'm not even joking, bro. It's sad. You know, and this is alleged, assuming that this is what I think it is to be a fake hit piece for some money, which it probably is, because at the end of the day, she obviously is jealous by how crazy his career is taken off. It's just sad, bro. It really is sad that, like, Clad needs to just check who he's around, right? Obviously, there's people around him when he was going through his seizure, and then when he's going through his overdose, and when he's being choked out, and now this with girls.
Like, some of these brands are being astroturfed out the wazoo, right? It's all synthetic. Some people will hang out like, oh, I'm gonna get a career if I hang out with this super astroturfed person or whatever. Buddy, if you're not astroturfing your own shit, you're going nowhere, bro. You're selling your likeness trying to become something from clankers. You think that the bots go, wait, hold on. I just posted a clip of Clad. Who is this person? I'm not a fan. Buddy, it's all clanker shit. This is all fucking digit. It's circuit boards. You're talking to wires. Buddy, you're branding yourself to fucking silicone chunks. Like, you're fucking brain dead. Jesus Christ, what's wrong with everybody these days? Like, genuinely.
Yeah, Jesus. That was just some retarded shit, though. No fucking shot that she didn't consent to that. I don't care how old you are. She's 17. Yeah, sure, legally, no, you can't consent. But the fact, no. She's retarded. She consented. She just wanted to get famous. Now she's suing her. Now she's suing him. And I'm pulling this out of my ass. Just suing him. Because now she can't get the fame from him anymore. She gotta milk the last little bit dry by suing him. Because by suing him, you got this news coverage of you. Yeah. She has no actual, nothing actually negative came from her this at all. She just wants more fame. She's a little fame hungry whore. I'm not cutting that last part out because it's true. But yeah, that was like a good clippy whippy.
I'm just kidding. Let's just watch it.
An 18.
6'7".
Oh, here's the.
Watching XQC react to
far.
Chat.
Have not heard.
Chat. Okay, hold on. Let me break it down. You can.
She is too young to realize she can just say, "Hey, I don't want this meth injected in my face." What?
In consent to like doing some.
Yeah, let's
I don't know.
Test, 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 test.
Prediction markets have exploded.
It's so entertaining.
Platforms like Polymarket, Kalshi.
Polymarket.
If you had me saying potato on Polymarket, you just made a ton of money.
Alright, let me do this.
A few weeks ago, Polymarket reached out to More Perfect Union wanting to collaborate. Specifically, they wanted us to integrate their odds into our reporting to give you new insights into the issues that we cover. So naturally, before diving into a partnership, we had to do our due diligence and look a little closer at their business model and the big claims that Polymarket's CEO likes to make.
The thing that drives me is that there are billions of people who could find value in this. A diverse group of market participants is more accurate than any given expert. It's the most accurate thing we have as mankind right now, until someone else creates some sort of super crystal ball.
Kalshi, their biggest competitor, makes similar grand claims.
It actually enhances democracy in a way, increases voter engagement.
It's actually the best mechanism to get more truth about who's actually going to win.
You might see ads from them about how you'll make rent trading on their platform, or how you can quit your part-time job.
What?
Looking at how these companies pitch themselves closely is really important. Because the thing is, prediction markets don't just exist in a void. They're deeply related to the larger structural problems in our economy right now. At a time when every day has a new...
Actually, no, it's fucking. Actually, yo, I don't know the video. I'm watching it. She said it's being fucking annoying for no reason at all. Like, what the fuck? What reason? Is it just saying?
New political or economic
You know what,
crisis,
just for that, I'm watching it.
from multiple foreign conflicts, domestic unrest, sweeping layoffs supposedly due to AI, massive budget cuts to social welfare programs, and the crippling of the American retirement, Polymarket and Kalshi are seemingly offering working class people a solution. You can regain control of the chaos, get an inside edge on our rigged economy, and stand to make tons of money. But is that true? We dug into their marketing tactics, talked to experts, and went to their grocery store to ask, will prediction markets give working people more power?
The long-term vision is to financialize everything and create a tradable asset out of any difference in opinion.
Or by financializing everything, are they recreating the worst aspects of the system they claim to be fighting?
I think it's wrong, personally.
To get a better idea of what Polymarket is all about, we went to a recent project of theirs that we could get behind. A totally free grocery store in New York City.
Do you know about prediction markets?
Nah, I don't know nothing about that.
I'm familiar with it, but I wouldn't say I know it fully in depth.
I've heard some tell about them. They hedge against whether you win or lose. Yeah, I don't actually like that.
They're doing good.
They're doing good. Like, everything's expensive.
Yeah.
It's good to have something like this.
So my question is, why is Polymarket trying to impress working class people with these marketing stunts? We'll get back to that later. But to get some basic definitions down.
Sorry, I'm making a thumbnail right now. I need to make a picture real quick. Shit, I'm gonna be able to pull the camera up. Fuck. Wait a minute. We can just do this. Pew. Let me get the face over here. Let me get this shit. This is such a ghetto way to do this. Wait, and then you look over here. Fuck. We're looking this way. And then we need to make a reaction face. well. Open this up a little more. Close that out. And then we're looking over this way. Control Shift. Okay, perfect. Oh my god, that means was so dumb. Well, I can just look this way, then I'll be able to just... Yeah, let's do that. I'll just flip it. Banger. Let me just save that real quick, my fellers.
I think it's
to an expert.
Chat, if they only allow the bigger markets and markets that have like some things that are like very hard to trick or to manipulate, sure. But a lot of these things, I mean, are markets that are absolutely manipulatable. Most of them are, the small ones.
Gauker is a seasoned journalist, an expert on the gambling industry, and writes a newsletter specifically on prediction markets.
That's the problem with it.
So we sat down to talk.
Prediction market is where you trade on outcomes of events in the real world, yes or no. Simple as that. Where you can bet on who's going to win an election. Is it Kamala Harris or is it Donald Trump? Who's going to win tonight's basketball game, the Lakers or the Knicks? It is that times 1,000, anything that could happen. Will there be more than 12 inches of snow in New York tomorrow? Kalshi, for instance, all contracts are $1. If something is 50-50, you're buying a contract for 50 cents. Somebody is buying the other side of your contract for 50 cents. At the end, one of you gets $1.
The idea here is that the current market price is the probability the event will happen.
In the final month of the campaign, most pollsters were saying the race was too close to call. But that was conventional wisdom. Polymarket relied on the wisdom of crowds and correctly predicted the outcome.
In theory, the financial incentives here force people to be honest. If you're wrong, you lose money, so you better be right.
Well,
this is supposed to be the ultimate filter, signal from noise, the truth machine. With enough people taking part in these bets, with enough liquidity, you get more accuracy. There's no house in this transaction, as prediction market companies are really fond of reminding us. They don't care if you win or lose, unlike sports books. They're just facilitating the transaction. It's matching. Sounds almost friendly, but there's a catch to all this. For these markets to be truth machines, to get the most accurate predictions, they actually kind of need insider trading. Take a look at this market, for example. What will happen before the video game Grand Theft Auto 6 is released? A lot of people know the answer to these questions. People who work on Drake or Rihanna's teams, or who work for their record labels. Maybe you work at OpenAI and you know the release date for GPT-6. You should probably place a big bet and get some money for that knowledge. The markets are meant to price the probability of the event, so they incentivize people who have high conviction, people who have insider information, to come collect their bounty by placing big bets on sure things. Placing these bets pushes the market probability in the right direction, making the prediction market more accurate because you know the answer. But it also means, in a lot of cases, these markets are inherently unfair.
There's been advocates, including...
You push the market, but by also shoveling the money that the people that don't know in your pockets.
Polymarket CEO that insider information gets us to the truth or gets us to more accurate probabilities. And honestly, not wrong. If that's the goal of a prediction market, you actually want insiders trading into it.
This is Dr. Robin Hanson, seen by many as the godfather of modern prediction markets, held up by the Polymarket CEO as the expert.
In a prediction market, there aren't investors, it's a betting market. We create the prediction market in order to learn things about the company. If the main purpose is to get more accurate prices, then basically we want as many insiders as we could. Insiders is great, please. Insider trading, it's just not really an issue for prediction markets.
Now, prediction markets would respond to this criticism in a few ways. Kalshi says they're rolling out new tools to find insiders. They require ID verification to trade now. Polymarket recently rolled out their own new insider trading rules months later. But the simple fact is they can't possibly police all the traffic that they're getting.
the Oscars, Rotten Tomatoes scores for movies, how many streams.
But they can though, by just not allowing a bunch of random dog shit markets. How is this hard to understand?
Spotify. Like surveillance will catch a large bet that's abnormal, right? But the whole universe of people who has this information, like on across all of these markets, is in the tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands. Yes, they know who you are, but can they definitively say this is insider trading? Or can somebody who works at Spotify just tell a friend, hey, look, I know who's...
If 100,000 people want a certain market and they appear and they regulate it, that's a market is okay, right? But if only a few people want to market and then they're all insider traders and then they do this like predatory bullshit, then it's not okay.
Had the most streams today. How are you going to catch that?
And there's another problem here. What even is an insider in the case of a global event? Senator Chris Murphy has had his eyes on prediction market insider trading, so we sat down to talk about it.
So when you go on Polymarket or Kalshi, you assume there's some system in place that is assuring that the bet you are making is not rigged. But all of the bets on government action are rigged because somebody in government knows the outcome. Many of the other bets are rigged as well because there's a handful of very powerful people who know the answer to that question and are pushing the markets in one direction.
His stance was that these rigged markets, ones where thousands of people know the outcomes, shouldn't be traded at all. And honestly, it's pretty hard to disagree with that.
If it's a rigged market,
okay.
If somebody
I agree with that. I mean, chat, think about the people that know about certain stocks in companies and how many people they have relatives and how many people they have friends with or people at their house that are just hanging out and they divulge information that will directly affect the market. And these are all fucking also rigging the main markets and it's been doing it for decades.
Knows the outcome ahead of time. You can't offer a bet on it. That seems pretty simple.
Even defining an insider in this context seems impossible. I mean, what about this guy who sat outside the Super Bowl rehearsals with a listening device so he could time how long the national anthem would be before betting on prediction markets? Is he an insider?
That's illegal.
I mean, I know he's literally outside of the stadium, but in this case, he had information that the public didn't have. And we can't even solve insider trading in traditional financial markets where people have been trading for decades. Oil traders made millions just hours ahead of an Iran announcement from President Trump in traditional financial markets. Why should we believe that a couple of tech bro startups have solved the problem that no one else could?
You know, let's take, for instance, a bet on what I'm going to say in this interview. We're taping it. There's a whole bunch of people in the room right now. They all know what I said. They're going to go out and tell a whole bunch of other people what I said.
All true.
There's going to be, by the end of today, 100 potential people who can bet on that market knowing they're going to make money. Restricting me and me alone from making that bet is pointless. You should be restricted from making that bet. Everybody in this room should be restricted from making that bet.
True.
But that exercise of deciding who has inside information and who doesn't, that's like, it's fruitless. You're never going to be able to track down everybody that heard what I said in this interview.
Okay, so setting aside the insider trading mess, here's the real kicker. Prediction markets aren't even as accurate as they advertise.
The most interesting example recently is the February jobs report. They forecasted 60,000 jobs would be added in February. Guess what? Job report was down. They weren't even close. There was like a delta of 150,000 jobs.
Take a look at this recent study out of Vanderbilt University that looked at prediction markets in the 2024 election.
Jesus.
While 93% of predicted markets correctly predicted outcomes better than chance, accuracy fell to 78% on Kalshi and 67% on Polymarket. So the Polymarket CEO is on 60 Minutes, taking 57% on Polymarket. So 78% on Kalshi and 67% on Polymarket. So the Polymarket CEO is on 60 Minutes taking a victory lap, and the markets on his platform were barely better than a coin flip. So these markets aren't all that accurate, and the core of the business model depends on insiders to help finding the truth. Who is winning here, and more importantly, who's losing?
I mean, who's losing? Everybody's losing.
If history has taught us anything, it's not to root against the underdog. Kalshi! Where your voice becomes a position.
These are deeply uncertain economic times. So it's tempting to turn to platforms like prediction markets as a way to get ahead. For a lot of young people, it can feel like prediction markets are offering a means of success when the traditional paths have been denied to them. You can see that idea constantly in how these companies describe their markets. These are investments, they're event contracts, used for hedging risk. It's the democratization of finance. You can see it in how they talk about information. They're the future of...
Okay, I'm a little bored of this, though. Alright, one moment, I'm gonna find a different video. Hopefully it's something else I can make a video on. My audio wasn't really good on this, so I want to work on that as well. Make sure to get this sort of back out. Beep, 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 beep.
Train brain broken. New slop has hit the timeline.
They're getting hate in the UN and shit. Who gives a fuck? Bro, they're doing things right. I hate to sound like a fucking right-wing grifter. I really hate to sound like it, but bro, these fucking Democrats, bro, like I don't know what's going on. Like I wish the general public was smart enough to realize, okay, fine, maybe the right isn't, you know, this.
It's so funny to have this perspective. I wish the general public could be smart enough to realize the things that I've come to know to be true. Train brain broken. New slop has hit the timeline.
Good one.
They're getting hate in the UN and shit. Who gives a fuck? Bro, they're doing things right. I hate to sound like a fucking right-wing grifter. I really hate to sound like it, but bro, these fucking Democrats, bro, like I don't know what's going on.
Bro, I hate to sound like a right-wing grifter, bro. I hate it, bro, but...
Like, I wish the general public was smart enough to realize, okay, fine, maybe the right isn't, you know, this.
It's so funny to have this perspective. I wish the general public could be smart enough to realize the things that I've come to know to be true based on all of the social media slop that's force-fed to me when I have no media literacy whatsoever. True.
Superstar side, but the left is actually coming out to. They're coming out as like everything that the mob has accused the right of being. Fraud, you know, election tampering, like some like everything that they're doing in the name of like human rights is actually to keep themselves in power, not for the betterment of human rights. And in that, because of that, it's actually like two-step backwards for human rights and all that. Oh man, it's just I'm too tired and cooked to even get into this.
My king. Holy. Looks like you haven't been putting your head down to do a little bump in the last like 2 minutes. Just gotta watch out on that.
This conversation, but everything's just cooked, bro. Like what the fuck? It's typical, isn't it though, huh?
Go duck's meat like.
What is this? More slop for the timeline.
Asmongold ducks meat like crazy. He would never do that.
XQC, go ahead.
XQC is irrelevant. I don't want to debate and waste time with
XQC
I'm talking
is
about
irrelevant. Really?
Yo, 27K in that.
Oh, it's not even like the numbers.
Talk about political relevance.
It's like debating
1G.
Now.
No relevance.
Imagine trying to play this game.
How many concurrences XQC have? Is it too little?
What do you think? It's because I have no political whatever. Buddy. Hassan takes a W where he can get it. Trust me.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't get a W. That's the thing, though.
Yep.
Is that
why'd you debate Willie Mack's show?
Anyway, on some of these topics.
This is why Hassan is too scared to debate Destiny. He also doesn't want to because of the viewer difference is a little more stark. He doesn't have enough viewers to Maybe if Destiny was like twice his size, maybe he would. No, he still wouldn't.
They would debate. Bro, genuinely, he would just lose. It's just that simple. Bro, some of this shit I haven't actually researched. Like, come on, bro. I'm not just some bum. Like
playing chess with a pigeon. You know?
Imagine what it would do to him. Okay, listen. Chad, this is
Who
like
wouldn't want to do that?
If he lost to XQC, he would kill himself, though.
Who wouldn't want to play chess against a pigeon? Because you'd win so easily.
6 months.
Let me give you a good example.
Next.
This is the exact scenario, chat, of Magnus and Hans Niemann, right? Where if Magnus wins, it's not a big W, but if he loses, it's a massive L, right?
Yeah.
And it's uncertain because of certain factors, and then he loses, and it causes complete disarray. You know what I mean? Because his elo would not gain a lot because in the political world he's seen as like some form of high elo, and I'm seen as low elo. So even if I put a dent in him, right, in a debate, then he loses a lot of rating.
Wait,
why does he hate you,
bro?
Why do?
It's a 7 year.
Where do you even begin at that
Yeah,
point?
7 year stalking situation with his entire community. But I think it's mostly envy. That's what I would.
Oh, that's me he's talking about.
Deserves the
so envious of Hassan.
situation that I'm in, and he will never.
Oh my god. Is he talking about Destiny? Chat, is he talking about Destiny? I know he's talking about Destiny. So wait. Me? No, Destiny. Okay. That's insane. Brother, oh my god, I can't. Chat, how many times have we gone to we've reacted to clips where like I always tell you guys, dude, he sees the world in a certain way and he will not ever entertain that people see the world a different way. Like he sees.
Oh, he projects. Yeah, this is true. Hassan projects the way that he sees the world on everybody else, and then treats them all like they navigate the world the same way he does.
Clout and views as like the most
important thing ever.
Like the loot. Everybody's locked up because he sees it like right, and he projects it on everybody. Anytime he speaks about me, he talks the same way about me. And like brother, but Destiny has never given a fuck about this. Like. Destiny peaked. Okay. I'm not kidding. You might not believe this. Destiny peaked before Twitch. Destiny had 7,000 viewers on Justin TV.
Let it go.
If Disney cared about views, he could have been.
Oh, yeah. It feels weird bringing it up, but like I was the most popular streamer in the world for like I want to say for a year or 2 or 3. I don't remember. When I switched to Justin TV, I was the largest streamer in terms of viewer hours, like by far. I don't know if anybody was even close. Before until League of Legends took over, and then those guys started to get more viewership. But like it's this like weird cope that like I'm trying to like always maximize my viewership, or I'm trying to do things to like it's just so obviously not true. Like you just have to. It's just so stupid. Yeah.
Destiny had 7,000 viewers on Justin TV.
Let it go.
If Disney cared about views, he could have been on top of Twitch for a decade. Bro, he got banned and he didn't even
That's a generous read, okay.
bother to say sorry or to try to play the game. He just didn't give a fuck. Went live on fucking YouTube and is doing his own. The guy doesn't give a fuck. Like, I'm not bouncing on his. I'm not doing like 1G. All I'm saying is that he doesn't give a fuck about the clout thing. He doesn't care. Like, you can say that, oh yeah, you can say success, whatever. You can say all this shit. Maybe true, this and that. But views, Destiny, bro, please just stop.
I mean, he's a bad person.
I was like, y'all got some built-up tension. Y'all need to release.
No. I'm not going anywhere near that.
Buddy, the meth guy rage baited clips before rage bait was a thing. Yeah, he could be on top of the Twitch game in terms of politics is a thing now. He can do the politics and do the rage bait and the viral clip. It's literally what he does. Like he would absolutely be on top if he was still on Twitter. Are you fucking kidding me? But the fact that Destiny Stream is still alive to this day is a fucking miracle. Like.
That is true. It's really to last a long time and to have changed up content. There's not very many of us.
Yeah, I guess.
Like Soda Poppin' is there. I don't remember when Summit started. Summit is an old one. I don't remember when Northern Line started. At this point, people consider Lyric an older streamer, but he started several years, I think, after. Forzen, I think, was an old one. Maybe Asmongold. I don't remember when Asmongold started, but he might be. Yeah, it's pretty rare. Like 99% of streamers from that era are all gone. Yeah.
Brother, everybody else that's tried that route they're irrelevant at this point. Like, that's insane.
Oh no. Bad empanada? When did Hassan make this statement?
Him pro-Israel, pro-police progressive. Brother, be real for a fucking moment. You're out of your mind. Like, I don't like that either, for the record. I don't like John Fetterman's, there are a couple things that I don't like about John Fetterman. You basically described them. But like, if you're gonna follow the ins and outs of electoral politics, how the fuck are you gonna shit on John Fetterman? You're in the shit just like we are. You know what I mean? This is what you're gonna get in Pennsylvania, especially. What are you expecting?
Damn. A little bit more electorally minded back then. Okay.
He's super pro-labor. He's a pro-Medicare for all. He's been a big Bernie supporter since the jump. And this interviewer is not running around and being like, well, that means nothing, literal nothing. Okay, well, again, you know, I am a political commentator. I'm gonna talk a little bit about marginal change every now and then. And I will go so far as to say that more John Fetterman's ultimately is a good thing. Straight up. John Fetterman is a good candidate. If the Democratic Party was comprised of more John Fettermans, the Democratic Party would unironically be significantly closer to pushing for...
Thank God it's not full of more John fucking Fettermans. Ooh, that would fucking suck.
Socializing key aspects of American existence.
It's like if the Republican Party was filled with more Ted Cruz's.
100%. What I'm simply stating is, I mean, leftists need to stop looking at a gift horse in the mouth, okay? But leftists, of course, have this painful inability not to apply the most vicious and bad faith critique to people that are on their side and try to dogpile on everyone as best as possible. My point is, listen, brother, we're already in the zone. We're not talking about like fucking Vanguard Party shit. We're not talking about seizing the means of production. We're talking about the Democratic Party's chances in the Pennsylvania Senate race. So if you're in here, you know that's my analysis. You know I'm talking about that. You know my worldview outside of that. But if I'm talking about this and you're trying to the conversation back to like some other larger picture, then you're just being ridiculous. Awesome, I return sock them. Man, comments keep you out of the news cycle, then I'm happy. No, these comments keep you out of the news cycle, then I'm happy. No, the problem is we've officially reached like peak Hasanabi derangement syndrome, which means that everything that I say on this broadcast as a joke will be used against me, against everyone, against your grandmas.
And a joke. True. Everything.
Okay, against everybody. Like anything that I say on any podcast appearance or on this broadcast will and can be used against me. It's official. We are now full blown in Hasanabi derangement syndrome in mainstream news. We went from Hasanabi derangement syndrome in like the commentary sphere, and right as the commentary sphere had started shifting in the way that they perceive me, okay, we moved on. Right as the commentary sphere was like, yeah, maybe this guy's not the fuck evil psycho that we presented him as. We turned around and now the entirety of the fuck mainstream is doing it. This is from the National Review, by the way. Hassan Piker is the enemy.
He's mad.
What does Hassan do this time, Dan? Where's our stupid group chat?
I knew it. I want to see the Hassan stuff. Show me.
Debates for me, but not for thee.
Oh, because he's trying to debate Dave Smith? He would get rocked on that, so I don't know. We'll see what happens. Oh, no, because they're the same side on Israel, so.
It would probably just be an Israel-friendly conversation.
Also, oh no! After a lot of thinking, we've decided to wrap up Sweet and Sour. What started as two friends loving to gap turned into one of the most meaningful projects we've ever done. Thanks to you guys. Thank you for listening, caring, and growing with us. Check out our final episode live now. Pokey and Lily.
I wonder why.
Did they ever air the Hassan episode? I thought it was going to air, and they just said that it was like,
I think so.
What?
What's it called? Sweet and Sour podcast? Why would they stop it? It's free money. What was the Patreon?
Time to grow up and lose the cringy, pretentious anime voice.
9,000 members.
Well. Lies. They started a podcast to write off shit, and now IRS is cracking down on a lot of these. I'm betting within 3 to 5 years, one of them is getting popped by the IRS. Jesus Christ. What?
That's psycho.
Bro. To be honest,
Pokey's a free agent right now.
To be honest, first 3 episodes were okay, but Pokemon just changed in 2027. She's kind of a bitch. Train brain.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay. In the future? They should do something awesome for the last episode, like bare knuckle boxing. Okay.
What the heck?
What?
Starting soon, we will convert this Patreon back to Lily's original Patreon. If you decide to stay with us, we're excited to have you.
Based.
Oh, that's Queen.
That's a smart move.
Oh, they ended on episode 69.
Woo! Yeah.
I appreciate that, Destiny.
Jesus Christ, 600. What?
The Indonesian government is being blamed for this 8-year-old's bad habit. Adi Ilham first lit up when he was 4, now smokes 25 cigarettes a day, and it's all perfectly legal. There are no age restrictions on smoking or buying tobacco in Indonesia, where 1 in 3 people smoke. The boy's mother says he throws tantrums when she doesn't allow him to smoke, and Ilham stopped going to school because he can't smoke in the classroom. His low-income family now spends $2 American a day on cigarettes. In Indonesia, cigarettes are the second largest household expense after food. The people aren't the only ones addicted. The government makes about $7 billion a year from excise taxes on tobacco. And cigarette companies employ thousands of people on the island of Java. Felipe Maya, CBSNews.com.
What the fuck? What?
He was 4, now
This feels like a onion video.
smokes 25 cigarettes a day, and it's all perfectly legal. There are
Started
no
smoking at 4. $14 years ago. What the fuck? How hard can your life be? You're in fucking elementary school. Okay. Okay.
Wait, really?
Wait, I'm not kidding. It looked like it.
Well,
hold on, something actually happened.
I don't care.
I'm not kidding.
It's going to be boring. I'm seeing FBI Director Kash Patel is expected to be fired from the Trump administration, a White House official tells Politico. Oh, wait, that was like 5 hours ago. I'm about to turn this on to the most nothing burger. Oh, you're Dan.
You're going to have to go like a minute
it's all
back.
good. No, it's all good. It's all good. Nothing burger. Ready for the nothing burger, guys?
I'm looking
Here
for
we
what
go.
happened. Hold on.
Here we go.
Closes
Trump's getting ushered out
to the free press, and that is an olive branch. And so, you know, arguably,
no, you need to go back, motherfucker. You missed it.
He's still there. Could come out.
He's
of this.
not, man.
He's right there. I see him. He's not. I went back.
Here's the argument on the other side, and we heard this on the red carpet from a lot of Trump administration officials. Hey, every reporter that's in there probably has his number on speed dial. And they can just call him directly, and he picks up the phone and he talks to them. Isn't that a free exchange? And every day he holds it. Li Zhang of CBS currently has direct access to President Trump. This is a live picture of
he got it sorted out. Something happened. Crazy.
On the dais. When you write a speech for President Trump, where do you start?
Well, you start with whatever the main topic of the speech is. It's like writing a speech for anybody else. You want to make sure that you're covering those issues and the programs that the administration is putting forward, and making sure that you're hitting all of that. I always made the argument that I always made, but the most part from reporters was it was also exhausting. That we've prepared and we're ready to go in a press conference.
It's like in a second.
And that's a notice. And have to shout over our other reporters and maybe get to ask one, yes, we have access, but we don't have that quality access, I guess, that they were looking for. And that's a difference.
But I would say that those impromptu moments
are... Yeah, I see it. Just a second. We have an issue here at the head table at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. If we can go to that full screen, it looks like the head table has been evacuated. I saw Oz Perlman talking with Mr. and Mrs. Trump, and they are evacuating. It looks like they're taking all the security folks out of there at this point.
Do you think, would this be too much?
I mean, listen, man.
Wait.
Whatever you're typing, yes.
Hold on. No, I haven't even typed it. Wait, I haven't even typed it yet, okay? You're such a fucking hater, bro.
What did you type?
Hold on.
That's a lot of Secret Service agents moving around.
Do you think this is... No, that's not even that bad.
No, I wouldn't, because you're going for remonetization, but normally I would say yes.
That's not even a bad one. No, I could be talking about literally anything.
Do you want money or not? Why are they screaming USA?
Because they like to recreate the Trump fucking thing.
You get closer, and it looks like the ballroom. I cannot see if people are still seated at their tables or not. This is the quietest I've ever seen the
secret memes. No.
We understand that shots were fired here at the dinner.
Whoa! Shots were fired. Oh, again! I can't stream. I'm gonna get banned. I'm gonna have to kill the stream. I can't talk. I'm not gonna talk. I'm not gonna talk.
Don't say it.
And we'll find out what's going on here shortly. You can see a lot of. Here come the Secret Service. Let's go. Let's go in full screen here. See if we can hear.
I think Trump just wanted to go to McDonald's.
Karen Bohan, you've been a association president. What is the security?
USA!
Such fucking losers, bro. Oh my god, they're such fucking losers. They tried to start, this is like the slow clap. They tried to start a slow clap, and they didn't even know, is it the terrorists cheering, or is it
was
the...
like 3 people.
Yeah.
People seem to be walking out relatively calmly.
You can go to live.
USA!
If you want.
No, I won't. I'm gonna listen. Hold on.
Karen Bohan, you were association president. What is the security considerations like when a president arrives
The
at the Washington
security
building?
obviously is taken very seriously in their meetings way in advance with the White House Correspondents Association, the Secret Service, the hotel staff. There is a lot of planning that is put into an event like this. You've got 2,600 people in that ballroom, not to mention all of the people in the hotel. I was at the venue earlier, and there were protesters outside. There was a security perimeter. In fact, it was tighter security than I've ever seen. I did notice, though, that at least 2 protesters got into the lobby, and that shouldn't have happened.
So Mike Dubke is a former Trump insider. Does the Secret Service have the last word, basically, on any travel?
Basically on anything that comes around any traveler movement of the president, absolutely. And they would have worked with the dinner organizers, with the hotel. This is a location in Washington D.C. that's used every year for this event. So this is not a unusual place to hold a high level event with a lot of security.
And I believe that they use this ballroom so often that the waiters and waitresses and
Imagine there's like a fucking picture of some woman like sneaking out in the back with a guy just fucking Pam Bondi. I'm just kidding, not just kidding. I can hear the shot at 6 seconds. Oh, that's boom, 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 boom. That's not like 4 or 5 shots, huh?
Yeah, it was like boom, 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 boom. Secret Service probably killed somebody out there.
No fucking reaction, this guy.
It can't be that the... Is this normal that it would take... that there's not like a mic in this guy's ear? Or there's not some... That was quick?
Yeah, I feel so. The Secret Service getting there? It was like... Mississippis.
What?
Like 10 Mississippis.
Like, yeah, like 10, 11 seconds? Like, I feel like that's... Considering they're in like a controlled environment where they have...
I'll swap, that's slow. Maybe,
Okay. Stop distracting me.
etc. all have some type of a security clearance that they can be in there and serve the president. Right before this
I like how everybody else is just still in there.
Mentalist talking with Mr. and Mrs. Trump. He was right there, and they were doing some cards, and it'll be interesting to see what they were talking about. But by now, it's been maybe 5 minutes since the shutdown. Is the president back at the White House by now? Do you think?
Knowing that we're not knowing any of the threats here, I've got to believe that they would have removed the president from the scene. That's part of the protocol.
Yeah, they took him off the stage. So. Yeah, it kind of changes the mood of what we're all about to talk about tonight. We don't have any updates at this moment. We do have the dinner. You can see that the ballroom is still full. And, as we sit here and watch, we'll absolutely stay live. And we will also take your calls. And we're going to put the numbers up on the screen very briefly, and I'll read them out loud as well. So if you want to call in, talk to us about what's happening. 748-8001 for Republicans, 748-8000 for Democrats, 748-8002 for Independents. Karen Bohan, you mentioned that you were at the Hilton earlier meeting with colleagues and got into the venue. What was the security for you to get through the perimeter? Because it's not just a hotel, they set up a perimeter.
They set up a perimeter, they were checking tickets, and you were only supposed to be allowed in if you were a guest.
And if somebody got a ticket, a protester got a ticket, then they can make it in, at least to the hotel, correct?
Yeah.
Could they make it into the ballroom? Because we're talking magnetometer.
God, I don't know how you guys watch this shit. I need to go. I hate breaking news so much. It's just like... It was an event, right? Yeah. You needed a ticket to get in, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Only people with tickets come in. Wow. Do you think they have like a perimeter? Yeah. Security.
You know what's going to happen with this?
What?
Trump's going to say, I need my ballroom for national security concerns. Look at what happened at the hotel.
True.
True, yes.
And we have somebody on the phone now who works for the Washington Hilton. I apologize. Malika Hall, who is attending the dinner, is a C-SPAN employee. Hey, Malika, what's going on? What do you got?
Hi, I'm in the room right now. Originally, a lot of people were under tables. We're now all standing up and looking around. All of the secretaries and the president have been removed from the room. I'm not exactly sure what happened. All we heard was yelling and being Secret Service, and yes, I'm okay. Thank you. And then Secret Service running on tables, and luckily I have people employees near me reassuring me that they're all okay. But yeah, President Trump obviously has been removed from the room.
Hey, Malika, were you close enough to see the Secret Service take Mr. and Mrs. Trump out?
I was close enough that I was under the table, so I did not see it firsthand.
Really? What made you? Was there a noise? Were there loud noises? Did it sound like shots?
I did not hear any shots. You just heard yelling and just commotion, like someone yelling through the room, or maybe someone came in. I'm really not sure what happened.
And did somebody tell you to duck, or did you just instinctively get under the table?
Oh my
I
God.
instinctively got under the table. And
What?
people were
All right, we have a very serious conversation to have. There is currently a concerted effort among war-loving, neoconservative Trump sycophants, both in the administration and in the media, to silence our ability to call out Donald Trump's failing war with Iran. I am not making this up. Even Donald Trump's FCC chair, Brendan Carr, responded to a video on Twitter of me debating Scott Jennings. In this video, I am trying to hold Scott Jennings to account on Trump's failing Iran war. This is not the first war that Scott Jennings has had to defend from a Republican administration who is putting us in the debt and sending more troops into the Middle East, and it probably won't be the last war that Scott Jennings has to defend from a failing Republican administration. So I'm sorry that I went on air and I tried to actually hold somebody to account when they've repeatedly refused to answer any questions about this. Well, Scott Jennings snapped in my face. I'll play the clip in just one moment, but this clip went incredibly viral. And Donald Trump's own FCC chair, Brendan Carr, responds and says, FCC rules don't prohibit profanity on cable. Then, he responds even further after an account called S.A. Trump Dog asks him, what are the rules on smacking someone on cable?
S.A. Trump Dog? What?
Yes, our FCC chair, Brendan Carr, then responds, also not prohibited. And someone then says, good shit. Thank you for opening that door for us. So this is Donald Trump's FCC chair, a grown-ass man who holds a lot of power within the administration, within the media, within the entertainment ecosystem. He is currently wink, nudging me getting slapped on air because I debated Scott Jennings a little bit too hard, because he didn't like the way that a liberal YouTuber was owning Scott Jennings on air. You know, listen, I'm not going to act like a baby about it and say that I'm scared or that he's actually threatening me. I don't feel threatened, but I think it's kind of pathetic that we have grown men in this administration who are constantly beefing on Twitter because they can't handle being held account regarding a war that they started. But then it gets even worse. Then it blows up even more because Chris Cuomo holds a panel on this very interaction between Scott Jennings and I. And on the panel, he has Geraldo Rivera, who was actually on the CNN set. He was on the table with us. And then was Governor Sununu on the right. I don't even know who that is, honestly. But Geraldo Rivera then starts saying that I'm a dick, that I was being a dick on air, which is very, very different from what he said off air right after Scott Jennings snapped at me. By the way, here's the clip of Scott Jennings snapping if you haven't seen it.
I mean, honestly, they have been at war with us for 47
We all
years.
know that Scott Jennings is more than happy to defend a war with a country that starts with the letters IRA that we are currently failing, that is going to put us trillions and trillions of dollars more in debt. I was only a few years old while you were in the administration defending prior endless wars. Now this war is failing.
8 weeks is endless to you?
Okay, you said it was going to be 4 to 6
You
weeks.
have the attention span of a gnat? Is that
Homie,
what you
I
have?
debated you on TV 4 to 6 weeks ago and you said we were weeks away from it. Now you're making condescending remarks because you can't defend the fact that this war is not going your way. Wait, one more time.
Not
Name
going your way.
one political concession. Name one political concession.
Honestly, I'm not going to have this guy's
Everybody,
face.
everybody, hang
Whoa.
tight,
Honestly.
okay? No, everybody.
Name one political concession. Name one political concession.
Honestly, I'm not going to have this guy's
Everybody,
face.
everybody, hang tight,
Honestly.
okay?
Get your fucking hand out of my face.
No, everybody calm down, okay? We're having a debate. You can respond to the points that he's making.
Can you name a political concession that we've got?
We had a flashback to the war the skinheads had in my studio.
I would be mad if I had to defend war too. I would be mad if I had to defend war.
Scott, you can respond.
We have a
and then
very
we'll move
simple. We have a very simple goal: to keep terrorists and a terrorist regime from having a nuclear weapon that can threaten the United States, our interests in the region, our allies in Europe, anybody else
So
in
you
the world.
can't answer the question.
That is,
Thank
that
you.
is
I
our
would
goal.
get mad too.
All right, we're going to leave it there, guys. Next for us, the president suggests ABC.
And after seeing that interaction, you can see why Brendan Carr said FCC rules don't prohibit profanity on cable.
That's
I actually
true.
replied to him directly. I said, "Can you show a pussy on air?" Because CNN did, and this is nearing 2 million views. Listen, guys, I know a lot of people in the comments are going to say, "Why would you respond in this manner?" But at some point, when the Republican Party is dragging us down to new depths, we can't be sitting there trying to piece together the rule book and figure out where things went wrong and how we can take the high road. At some point, when grown-ass men in their 60s or whatever are trying to attack me on Twitter and say that it's not prohibited to smack me on air, which, by the way, that would just be assault at that point. Like, our literal FCC chair is wink, wink, nudge, nudging that someone can smack me on air, but that would just be assault at that point, and he's forgetting that point. But then I respond in a reciprocal manner. I respond in the way that Trump has been talking to us for a decade. I respond in the way that our FCC chair has been talking to us for the past year or so. It is time for this sort of reciprocal energy. And by the way, if you agree, make sure you drop a like. Subscribe to the Adam Mockler feed. Now is the moment when the community should rise up, come together, and make sure you subscribe below. Also, if you're on Twitter, go follow me there. If you're on Instagram, go follow me there. We're building an active community of people who can push back in an effective manner. Now, let's jump over to this segment with Geraldo Rivera and Chris Sununu. It's honestly so cringe I can't even watch it. Chris Cuomo does a decent job of trying to stick up and defend me, but Geraldo Rivera then says that I was being a dick. Before I even play this, do you know who Scott Jennings is? Scott Jennings has built his career over the past few years off of being a huge dick to anybody on CNN. Any liberal who goes on the air, mainly liberal women, he'll trap and troll and he'll smirk and he'll be a huge asshole. So I've been on air with Scott Jennings so many times that I've picked up a few things from him. I've learned things from him. I learned things from Scott Jennings. I learned things from Donald Trump, which is controversial. But yes, some of the political tactics that we employ, I learned from the most slimy operators because we want to use it to rebuild and regain a better democracy. So yeah, I go on air and I'm also being aggressive as well, because I'm asking him about a war. I'm not going to tone down the way that I ask about a war that Scott Jennings is defending. If you can't take the heat about defending a war that is failing, maybe you shouldn't be defending that war in the first place. Let me play this clip.
Chris, the kid was a dick. I mean, he really smart, eloquent, had his argument together, had obviously debated Scott before, and he was really being a dick. I mean, it was like, shut up, you know, go out and get some life experience.
How many different ways do the three of us, so you have one of the best broadcasters in history, right, Mr. Mediocre in the middle, and Governor Sununu, who's one of the most celebrated public officials in his state, period. All of us have at least 6 ways. Dusty just said, what? My favorite governor ever. Oh, there you go. And she knows my brother's going to kill her for that, but that's okay. We all have at least 6 ways to deal with somebody trying to get our goat, right? You would never allow yourself to act that way or the way you would with your brother, right? I'm telling you, here's my concern, is that what you represent, Chris, is being lost right now. I believe them.
So I wrote a direct response to that Chris Cuomo segment that I'll read for you in one moment, but it's very important to contextualize what actually happened during this CNN panel, because I was not the instigator of this. Not that it matters, you shouldn't snap at somebody on live television either way, but when the panel started, Scott Jennings immediately began taking low blow jabs at my age. Geraldo was sitting right there. I don't know if he forgot about this, if he doesn't have the brain elasticity to remember this, but homie, Scott Jennings immediately takes a jab at me.
So here's what we're doing.
No political concessions.
When you get up past your bedtime, you get hyper. Here's the deal. We have a clear issue here.
You're shaking, bro.
We have a clear issue.
Abby immediately has to go, all right, Scott, come on, that's not appropriate. This was like 2 minutes into the panel because I asked him a simple question. So can we just back up for one moment? Think about this in the context. Scott Jennings goes on TV every single night to defend the Trump administration's actions regarding ICE, Renee Good, Alex Preddy, Doge, Medicaid cuts, all of this. He goes on television to defend the Iran war as it fails and drains our pockets. And then the very moment that I try to ask him a direct question, hey, can you name a political concession we've gotten from this war? Hey, we're 60 days into this war. Trump said he wouldn't start any wars. Then he said it would be 4 to 6 weeks, but now that we're 60 days in, can you name me what we're getting from this war? And apparently, that question is so incredibly offensive to MAGA that he's able to just say, oh, you're up past your bedtime and throwing a tantrum. So later on in the segment, I force the same exact question. I say, Scott, I want you to tell me what political concessions we've gotten. And he sticks his finger in my face and starts yelling at me. If he wanted me to tone down my hand movements, that's one thing. I'm a very rational person, and he could have been like, hey, dude, can we not do that right now? It's a little bit much. And I would have been like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. Instead, he snaps like a little kid, like a little petulant child, because he can't answer for this failing war. So then for Geraldo Rivera to hop on television and say that I'm being a dick, I'm sorry. I'm not going to be nicer about this. I'm not going to be nicer about the way that I ask about war on live television. Sorry if I'm getting a little bit worked up, but I just find the double standards to be so incredibly unfair. Like, hey, I'm Scott Jennings. I'm going to go on television every single night and defend the destruction of our country, our economy, and our standing on the global stage. The moment that somebody asks them about it, even if I was being a bit aggressive, that's too far. That is a step over the line. It's not. I'm sorry. So I responded directly to this Chris Cuomo segment, and I just want to read some of my tweet. I said, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to be nicer about this. Neocon boomers are mortgaging my generation's future by amassing trillions in debts, turning America into a pariah on the global stage, and getting our troops killed for another failing war. I have to watch these neocons lie about the state of this war on TV every single day. Then the moment I push back and assertively ask, hey, what's the actual goal here? I have a legion of neocon boomers telling me I should know my place, or I should wait my turn to talk with the grown-ups. Fuck that, genuinely. I'm not claiming to have all the answers. I'm not claiming to know better than our military experts. I'm not claiming to be all-knowing. I understand. I'm 23 years old. I've got a lot of limitations. But young people, generally, not just me, but young people overall, deserve a seat at the table and deserve some sort of representation to fight for our interests when 95% of media is made up of people like Geraldo Rivera or Scott Jennings. So yeah, it's an uphill battle for people like you, for people like me, whether you're of any age. It's an uphill battle for liberals in the first place. But it's also an uphill battle for young liberals to have a voice or a seat at this table. So for Scott Jennings and all these people to constantly demean, just too much. So I then wrote another thread breaking down my point in the Scott Jennings debate, which is basically that there's more to war than just killing an enemy. What you actually want to get in a war is political concessions from your enemy using military force. If you're just killing a bunch of people but not getting any political concessions, that's not really a victory in war at all. Like, the goal is to get them to concede to some stuff that helps our country, right? So I wrote a whole thread breaking this down, and some Fox contributor named Jim Hansen, another neocon MAGA boomer, and I know a lot of you guys are boomers. I love all of the boomers out there that watch me, all liberal boomers, of course, but there's a certain strain of neoconservative people that exist in DC that definitely are kind of ruining our country. And it's not really age, it's people of all ages. But this guy in particular, Jim Hansen, writes this long thread. Check this out. He goes, I can't think of anything more comical than a 23-year-old with zero real-world accomplishments explaining to MAGA operators how warfare works.
Just watch some my molestiny, my sex pestiny.
Why would you ever give that to somebody who's on your team? A hostile style interview.
Because you're trying to change how the party just talks. You're trying to change how the party holds.
Why can't you do that with a friendlier but challenging interview?
Because I think John, so this is where I think that we should talk about the strategy of it, right? So I think John is seen and I think is trying to break out of the paradigm of we're establishment. And by the way, the Bidens kind of reinforce this. Like, oh, you're the Obama guys. You're always going to be the Obama guys. You're always going to be people who are kind of attached to the 2012 version of establishment Democrat. You're not even attached to the Biden one, is again what the Biden camp would say. And a lot of people thought a lot of Biden's admin was more progressive than Obama's admin, which is like, I think, philosophically wrong. It's like a time and place thing. And so they're trying to break out of that mold and say, okay, actually, we're going to hold the party to account. We don't want to anymore be seen as people who are just parroting the party line. And we have more permission than people who they might now think of as like soft allies on the left to take the points that they think of as being credible and use them within the party. And so if we think about this from like, there's a credibility crisis, I think Pod Save counts as part of the credibility crisis. That's like one of the points I'm trying to make is they are seen by a lot of people as part of the apparatus.
It feels like you just gave literally the perfect reason why this was like an other team interview and wouldn't be viewed that way. If they're trying so hard to not be viewed as part of the Democratic establishment, and then they give like a big fuck you hostile interview to the most Democratic Democrat, the head of the DNC, then it seems like, yeah, most people are going to view this as like an outsider-style interview where it's just a hit piece on...
Well, maybe the distinction is whether people like care whether it's outside or like I don't think they're trying to label it, and so it's more if
I need to do something like this, talking to other human beings, that'd be cool.
Favreau's part of these are different teams. They go the party's finally trying to have these conversations out loud. The party can finally challenge itself.
Okay, here
rather than hide the conversation.
Do you think that that's what most people took away from that? That like oh wow the party is finally having challenging conversations.
I think it allows John to do it again. So even if they...
Hold on, no, wait. Do you think that most people would view that last interview as, oh, wow, the party is finally having challenging conversations?
No.
Okay. I feel like that's my point.
Do you see what sentence I want to say next? Do you know the sentence I want to say next?
The next one will be?
That the view of any particular conversation is not the important thing, right? So, like, obviously, this is shocking to people and will be seen as extraordinarily confrontational. Obviously. And so they won't view it in the totality of what you and I are saying in either direction. However, it is the beginning of a shift that they might have towards the people who are serious inside this party. And John counts as one of those fucking people, right? And so if we think about this as changing tonally and changing structurally what the party is capable of, and if we do have a credibility crisis that really causes half the left to have an aneurysm every time there's an election, then I think we can reasonably say, even if this conversation was not perfect, and no conversation will be, it's the evidence of an internal dialogue, especially after the DNC goes on a listening tour, and for whatever reason, even if people misinterpret it as quote, everyone thinks this report is going to come out. Okay, we can't have the listening tour and not reflect kind of the fullness of the lesson, not just the summary of the lesson, and expect that the people who believe that all this happens inside people's heads, inside John's head, inside Obama's head, inside the DNC person who they believe kept Bernie out of winning primaries.
Why is it that they can't do this same thing with a mutually beneficial? With the mutually beneficial conversation? Why does the bolstering of John's reputation have to come at the expense of the Democratic Party?
How else would it have happened? This is a real question. So, like, mechanically, do you think John would go?
The easy answer he gave is just make it like the Hassan interview.
Yeah, he smooths everything over.
Yeah, that's not.
What?
Hold on. That was a gimme interview times 1,000. That sounds like establishment politics.
Well, I mean, he could give him an opportunity to answer the questions that he wants.
That's establishment politics. I wouldn't have even liked that.
We're not talking about establishment politics. We're talking about an interview that would theoretically build up both of these people. No. But to build them up requires taking the credibility crisis seriously, and I think this is where the critique is valid, right? Taking the credibility
could the critique have been better delivered?
That's a down the road thing. There is no world where you have to be giving your own side hostile ambush interviews. I don't know if you can think of a single example of Republicans ever doing this.
By the way, so I obviously
Let me repeat that. Can you think of a single example of Republicans ever doing this?
Oh my God.
Answer the question.
Do you think my answer to this question is actually a representation of whether or not this is a real thing? We can't agree in principle as to whether or not Republicans have had real serious infighting. And by the way, in the
it might not be, but if it's not, then it shouldn't bother you to answer it. So can you think of a single example of Republicans ever having hostile style interviews with their own people?
Answer the fucking question.
Yes or no?
These are cute.
Still not answering.
Like recently, obviously, the Tucker stuff is about. I don't even want to use that because that feels unfair. But
why?
The Tucker stuff.
That's a good example. Yeah.
I don't think. Okay, I'm trying to be fair. I guess I'm actually trying to be fair in this conversation, and you aren't because you think I'm bad faith.
I'm trying to be fair.
That's recent.
Stop. Hold on.
Yeah.
We're gonna do the Tucker Ted thing. What have I said that's in bad faith?
I don't actually think you're bad faith. What I'm trying to say is I want it to be. Oh my goodness.
You said you're actually trying to have a good faith conversation. The obvious implication being that I'm not. So what have I said so far that is?
I'm being mean to you because you were mean to me earlier. Okay. I don't think either of us are bad faith. Fair.
Okay, I don't think that was the purpose of your statement, but okay.
You're bad
Okay, so
faith.
on the Tucker
That was
versus,
literally-
on the
Stephen,
Tucker,
I think you're good faith.
On the Tucker versus Cruz debate, do
Yeah.
you think people saw that as two
Dumbasses.
Republicans who were mutually trying to build up the
I.e. this
Republican
one person
Party,
calling
or
it.
was that more like
So the reason I didn't want to bring that up, and we can interrogate it as a good example, and fine, but I actually didn't want to bring it up because I think the way the Republican Party is splitting right now is actually quite different than what I would want to have happen in the Democratic Party. We can establish.
I agree with you there, although I would
yeah.
say that one of the reasons why it's splitting that way is because the people, Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, Nick Fuentes, these people are playing the role of John Favreau or whatever that right now in the Ken Martin interview. Absolutely, they are critically challenging.
You don't think
ambush
these people
style.
will fall in line? You don't think these people will fall in line?
Who?
Everyone you just named except for probably Fuentes. Tucker, Candace, who else is doing this sort of shit?
For the next election, there's not going to be a line to fall into, but I think they'll all be Republican supporters. Yes.
Yeah. So no, you're wrong. They're not like, or in the way in which like they're doing the John thing. They're doing what they know their party is capable of handling.
No, I think they're trying to, but what they're doing right now is they see the winds changing and they're attacking the party in the hopes that it'll change into something like significantly different. They're trying to like morph or mutate it by attacking the party right now, understanding that it'll probably damage it a bit, but coming around for whatever the next election is. Again, I don't know what post-MAGA fucking Trump land is going to look like.
Well, so this is the point. What is the machination of the Democratic Party that we want? Do we want it to be something that has to fall in line with a specific cult leader, or do we want it to be a party where this sort of conversation can happen, and whether it's Bernie or Hillary next, as in philosophically, kind of parts of the party?
There is no style of party where you're doing ambush hostile interviews amongst friendly people. That just is never.
Didn't we just talk about examples about people who do this, and the party still functions, the Republican Party still functions at the end of those conversations?
No, we brought up one, and you said you didn't want to go into it, which was.
Hold on, Candace. Tucker, Fuentes, I don't know if they'll actually fall into part.
Yes, these people are considered outsiders now from the party.
No, they're not. They're yes. Like,
Candace Owens,
in
the
the
one
conversation...
that Trump just truthed out a drugged out picture of?
Is Ted Cruz not one of the biggest Trump simps after Trump said your wife looks like dog shit or whatever? Marco Rubio, little Marco.
This was one of... Okay, I'm sorry. I can't believe I have to make this qualification, but yes, they do debate each other when they're literally on debate stages fighting for candidacy. Okay, sorry. That is a time when people will debate, is when they're on the debate stage in a primary election.
Do you think this also qualifies, by the way, when we have the congressional leadership fights? Because the McConnell and McCarthy fights were also really contentious within the Republican Party.
Yeah, and they were terrible for them. They were bad.
But the party thrives off of that, no?
No.
Everyone afterwards falls in line, right? There's literally no tension.
Those were bad fights. Those were terrible fights.
Right, but the party could contain them, right? The party's healthy enough.
They could not contain them. They were horrible fights. They were bad.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
How? His career was destroyed. What are you talking about? He's gone for politics now.
That was not from the fights. That was from after the fight nonsense. I'm talking about at the time of the post.
I completely disagree.
Hold on. I think you're thinking of the wrong time. I'm talking about when he won.
Oh,
that was a very contentious fight. I'm not talking about when he lost everything because he literally lost his career. Yes, I'm talking about when the Republican Party fought about him. That was a majority.
Hold on. Is when they lost their seat in the House, wasn't this because of a rule that McCarthy crafted that allowed them to?
That was part of the concession he had to make as part of the party, as a part of taking the seat.
That one vote could call, and then wasn't his whole political career past that point basically done?
Not because of that point, right? So he had a contentious fight, won that leadership, and that was part of the concession package, if I remember correctly. It was like, you should be able to use a vote to kick us out. And then he proceeds to have a bad leadership. But it wasn't because of the election that he lost his career. That was the first fight. That was a representation that they can actually handle that disagreement. He then did a bad job. Or in their view.
I don't understand. I don't know. We just fundamentally disagree on everything. I don't know.
Hold on. What was unclear about that?
That fight was bad for Republicans, and McCarthy's career ended because it showed that they couldn't even hold their House Majority Speaker seat. It was a fucking joke. They had to go to even every single Republican was criticizing them, saying because they were begging.
Do you think he lost his career at the same time that he won the leadership?
I'm not talking about when he won the leadership. I'm talking about when he lost
the thing
that
you're
seat.
talking about This is why I'm trying to make this clear, was at the same time that he won the leadership. So all the bad fighting that happened about McCarthy was at the time he was running for the leadership. He then later lost his career.
That he lost his career when he lost the leadership.
Yes.
Yes.
But I'm talking about it was also very contentious when he won the leadership because they can stomach it. That was a very contentious fight.
Wait, who? Why? How? I don't remember that being.
This was after the 2022 thing that I'm talking about. This was the whole what should we be fight that they had internally. The interesting thing, by the way, as we're talking about this, that I'm realizing is like a lot of this stuff I think was their politicians fighting each other. So they have this thing where like they actually yell at each other. Dems don't do that either, but they yell at each other very aggressively.
Okay, I don't remember.
And just remember the whole fight over the RNC chair and like.
Look at this genius. True.
All this shit.
Yeah, a little bit, but I don't. But
sure, announcing should be contentious. Sure, announcing should be contentious.
Okay. Okay. What is the point
but they can stomach all of this. The party does not at all lose out because Republicans fight and kill each other.
I mean, it sounds like one of the concessions he had to make literally resulted in his political career ending in order for him to...
Yes, but they didn't immediately use that against him, right? So it's not, I made a concession.
So because it wasn't immediate and it happened, a year later?
I don't remember. What were all the reasons that they eventually decided they were done with him?
I thought it was because he agreed with something on Biden for some piece of legislation, and Republicans were ass pain because they didn't want him to make any concessions or any agreements whatsoever.
That's an unrelated issue.
But the whole reason why they were able to oust him was because I think part of the agreements for him to become the speaker was that a single person...
So are you trying to say that like if you have a party...
Sentence? Holy shit! Part of that election that you said was so great for them, one of the things that he had to give on was that a single member could raise their hand and call a vote on you to get kicked out for the fucking speaker bullshit. And that's what happened to him, I think, after he agreed with Biden on some legislative thing. And then afterwards, he didn't win election for the speaker. And then he quit 2 months later, and he's gone from politics forever now.
So, are you trying to say that because the party can have these the Republican Party can have these nasty fights that have a rule attached to them at the time in which they have these nasty fights, if those fights happen and the party moves on, later, when the party then has other issues with the person and uses the changed mechanics, that's evidence that the internal infighting mechanics are broken?
Yes. Super simply, yes. That if and a part of an that as part of a fight, if one of the gives you had to make was so that somebody could push the self-destruct button on the majority speaker role that had never been lost in all of U.S. history by the majority party in the House, yes, that fight was probably a bad one for your party.
No, process versus outcomes.
I don't know what process versus outcomes.
We have to legitimately say that it's okay. I mean, I don't like the Republican Party, so I don't. When I say it's okay, I'm talking about like for them, that they say, okay, we're going to elect you. You need to make concessions about how we control this speakership. That's a process thing. The outcome of Kevin McCarthy later not being liked for concessions he made to Biden and the rule being used against him is an outcome that we don't like. But the process of we think this is a speakership
that process literally was an earlier outcome. That's how the process got there.
Is it a bad one though?
Yes.
Why? By its nature, it's bad?
Yeah, you probably don't want it so that a single... I'm explaining it to you. You probably don't want it so that a single person can raise their hand to call a vote on whether or not you should be ousted as the majority speaker.
But is that... I mean... You know that you're like making this a weird defense of the question as to whether infighting, because that rule was not necessarily the thing that had to happen from all that infighting, right? Like that happens to have been used against him.
I'm just saying that infighting was not good infighting. It wasn't good infighting. It was bad if it's producing rules like that.
You have not proven that to me, other than in the fact that one of the things that they came up with that in the abstract I don't think is necessarily a negative outcome turned out to be used against him.
It doesn't matter. Even if it wasn't used against him, it still would have been bad. The fact that you're having to give that much?
Why?
Because you're putting a self-destruct button on your leadership because you're so unhappy with, I guess, the fights that are happening in your party.
Does the Republican Party seem to have thrived since 2023-ish?
Yeah, didn't Biden win in 2020-ish? And aren't we going to win in 2024? Or 2028 or whatever?
Wait, I can't tell if you're agreeing or disagreeing with what I asked.
No, I don't understand the point of your question. We're not asking whether or not they ultimately won or lost an election. We're asking whether or not this fight was good or bad. The fight can be bad, and they can still win a future election, right? So your question is not sequitur.
No, that's the point I'm trying to make to you as well about the leadership vote. the ability to self-destruct the head of the party.
I think that was bad. Yes. Even if he wouldn't have announced it,
but
it
it's
would have been
not
bad.
necessarily related.
Okay.
It was not a predetermined portion of the outcome. And again, let's bring this back to Democrats because we're fighting in this world
The
where
process itself was bad.
Why? You're going to say because of the outcome.
No, I'm not. Because you don't want it so that you can call a vote on the...
That was the outcome of the process.
No, that's the new process, is being able to...
What?
The new process is being able to call a vote on whether or not you can oust your speaker with a single person.
That was at the end of the infighting. That was the outcome, not the process. That infighting moment, there are different infighting moments. Do you agree? Like, infighting is not like a continuous thing, because then we would not be able to have the start and stop of whether it was good.
Do you understand that a process implementation can be the outcome of another fight, right? The outcome of McCarthy assuming the majority speakership, the outcome was the implementation of a new process, and that new process was probably bad.
No, I don't think that the process is necessary. You literally did a fucking MS Paint demonstration of this, and you're failing your own 100 IQ test.
So you think that it's a good process to implement that could lead to a historic loss of control of your own House majority seat?
Did you know at the time you engaged that process that it would lead to the historic whatever you just said?
It doesn't matter.
What do you mean it doesn't matter? How do you have a good process by predetermining or restricting the potential set of outcomes?
If I were to install a ball shocker in the seat of your car that activates every time you take 3 right turns in a row, would it be neutral as long as you don't take 3 right turns in a row? Is that what you're determining it on? Is the outcome?
I don't. Could you say it again? Sorry, I wasn't listening.
Think about what I just said.
Okay, if you install the ball shocker and I take 3 right turns
in a row, it'll shock your balls. But let's say you just don't take 3 right turns in a row. Does that mean you don't have an opinion about that process implementation?
Bro, I don't take right turns.
Do you...
Style conversation? You shock your balls.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. So why isn't the self-destruct one member didn't shock your balls?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. So why isn't the self-destruct one-member vote thing a problem, even if they hadn't acted on it?
Because you don't know what the fight is when you go into the infighting.
Okay, then
the infighting was not about that. Hold on, the infighting was not about the idea of should we be able to retract the speakership easily. The infighting was over the leadership and over the future of the party. So you're saying we should predetermine all the potential paths at the end of infighting before we have the infighting itself? That makes no sense.
No, I'm saying that if at the end of infighting you're having to make concessions that could heavily damage you in the future, then that seems like it was a very the infighting probably wasn't that great.
What? Hold on. Was the infighting probably not that great?
We're gonna cut this off soon.
Oh, wow.
Well, I'm in chat. I'm defending your ass. Okay, I've been getting it.
Thank you, Lucas. I appreciate you. Chat, fuck you. Also, what's gonna come next? Come on, guys. Really?
Oh, find out. Final words.
I'm trying to say this to you differently because I feel like Stephen should agree with this. When we think about process separate from outcomes, we have to have a separation, a distance from whether or not that infighting was necessary and part of a movement, right? And like, okay, if there's a movement that's happening, do we cut off the movement or do we have the infight?
You can have infighting. You're mixing a ton of things up. I think that infighting is fine. You can have infighting, but there are appropriate ways to infight, and there are inappropriate ways to infight. An appropriate way could be conversations behind closed doors. It could be like friendly but adversarial conversations on public platforms. It could be adversarial conversations on opposing platforms, but it's never going to be people who are supposed to be on your team doing hostile adversarial interviews against you. That will never, ever be a good thing. Ever. Never.
Are you not open, by the way, to the fact that the idea that the DNC and John all benefit from this having happened? I'm not saying like, oh, Ken looks good, but the idea of the DNC, the Democratic Party, of the establishment being more open to these conversations, of John being willing to have these conversations, of everyone talking about this now in the polity, of the Democratic Party in particular, is actually healthy for the party moving forward?
No,
because again,
it wasn't. That was not a healthy conversation.
Why?
What do you mean? Why would it be? What was good? What good came from it?
there's now a sense to which the people inside the party can have this sort of conversation, which means
They already could have the conversation. There's nothing keeping
no, they couldn't.
somebody...
There's no evidence of that in the past. There's no evidence of this sort of thing happening in the Democratic Party in the past, which is constantly used against establishment
You're
Democrats
saying that
by people
nobody
on the
could
left.
approach Ken and have a question about like this report or whatever that wouldn't have happened, but now that he had a conversation publicly with
Who where would have had this conversation?
By nature of it being an insider conversation, I wouldn't be able to answer that. I don't know.
Yeah, right, and that by nature that would sustain the credibility crisis that we're talking about. So
no,
we cannot.
Wouldn't. It's literally unfalsifiable. Now, John could have asked a question about that or brought that up, and that would have actually been a good point, but he didn't, which is why.
Do you not think evidence of an insider holding a leader to account by its nature doesn't improve credibility, especially inside of a party that is traditionally accused of having a...
John is not an insider in this conversation.
Of course he is.
He's absolutely not. He's not even a delegate.
No,
he's
that's
not even
nonsense.
a chair. He's not even a member of the DNC.
Nonsense.
What are you talking about?
Nonsense.
How is he an
This is the
insider
part,
here?
Because this is the part that, again, the left would critique the party about and be right about. They'd go like, okay, you're literally going to mention people who are part of...
Vague, non-responsive.
How
is John an insider talking to the head of the DNC?
Because he is literally a speechwriter for Obama as part of 2 other speechwriters who then created a media company that then has an audience...
Obama was president 10 years ago.
And now they have infiltrated culture. They have micro-celebrities and celebrities on all their podcasts and their shows.
I understand. What does insider mean to you? What does that mean to you?
What does it mean to you?
No, you have the answer.
Yeah.
No, I'm generally...
I'm not answering to you.
I'm thinking... I don't have a predetermined answer, so I'm trying to...
If you just fought me that hard on it, how can you not have a predetermined answer?
Do you write everything you think down first?
Before I argue it, yeah, stringently, yeah, of course. I have in my mind a strong idea what I consider.
You think it's unreasonable that I can call certain people insiders or outsiders, but I don't have an immediate 2 sentences to provide you? You really think that's unreasonable?
Well, it sounds like you don't even have a bare bones concept of what an insider is.
You don't think I have a bare bones concept? I'm just thinking, okay? I want to say a set of sentences that you don't call me bad faith over. So why don't you go first? Or you want me to go first? Give me a sec. Hold on. Let me think. Let me think.
Justify why I just said
no.
it. Okay.
No.
Let him think, Steven. This is your final thought.
Think about
it. Fuck.
You can't think of one that includes something.
By the way, I'm not asking AI chat, you fucking idiots. I'm on video on. Yeah, I know. I don't know what's wrong with them. Also, I know a lot of them love me, so shut the fuck up. My hands are up, and all the people inside the Discord, so I'm not asking AI anything.
GTA.
I think that an insider is a member who holds... Sorry, members are itself going to have a definitional problem. Well, I guess I'll always have to have something like that. Is somebody who belongs to the party, who holds a multiplier of influence that we'd say puts them on the inside.
What? Is Asana an insider?
Actually, that's a great question. Let me think.
ChatGPT, hurry up, please.
I think as
hurry up, Grok.
A few weeks ago, he unfortunately became an insider. I don't think it's permanent. I don't know what's going to happen next. But I think he has an undue amount of influence in the party right now, where he, for example, could ask certain people for conversations or to like see things, and they'd probably have to do it.
You think Hassan would describe himself as an insider?
No, of course not.
All right, Steven, any final thoughts on this?
Well, just, yeah. So an insider, in my mind, I don't know what definition you're using. I don't think anybody uses insider. Like, an insider is usually somebody who has privileged access or is part of some particular group or organization that's usually obscured from the public to some extent. So like an insider, it doesn't have anything to do with influence. So like a member, like the deputy chair, I don't know if the DNC has a deputy chair, but the deputy chair of the DNC might be totally unknown publicly and might not even make public statements.
I need
wait, part of an organization.
Why wouldn't we
has
just use
privileged
the word
information.
employee there?
ChatGPT, hurry up.
They might not have a, because, well, like for instance, Mutin is not my employee, but you maybe could consider him like an insider for like the.
Of course I would.
For my, consider him what, an employee?
No, an insider.
ChatGPT,
Yeah, but you
hurry.
wouldn't consider my employee, so that's why you wouldn't use the term.
Right, but wouldn't you consider, I mean, if we were in the Obama era and John had retired from being a speechwriter, but it started positive, I don't remember the timeline, it was after Obama, I think. Well, let's say he started it while he was still in office. He would be an insider, correct?
While he was in office? Almost certainly so.
Well, John was...
Yeah.
Right. So, by definition, it shouldn't be that, like, your structural relationship to the party is the important
You
thing.
literally just gave a structural relationship. He was a
No, I said
speechwriter.
influence. I said the word influence. Undue influence.
No, it would have nothing to do because it's an influence. It would have to do with the fact that he probably has access to people like inside the party because he's the speechwriter for Barack Obama. So he's probably
Okay,
communicating
I
with
should
people
say
with
then
inside
undue
information.
access and influence.
The influence thing has nothing to do with it. It's whether or not you have like inside information. Inside information.
No, inside routes to information or to process. And again, this is why I would probably say that Hassan right now, even though he would never say it,
Hassan is absolutely not an insider. No.
Do you disagree that he has privileged access?
No, he doesn't have privileged access to like the Democratic. Here, give us 5 minutes and we're done. 5:10, okay?
All right,
No, I don't think Hassan has privileged access or information to the Democratic Party. You could argue that maybe he's an insider on like Al Sayed's campaign or whatever if he's included in any of those conversations, but even that's like a big maybe. But just having a lot of influence or doing advertisements for something doesn't make you an insider, no.
But okay, so let's go to the Jon Favreau question. So why would he to you not be an insider? He has very privileged access and information and access to information.
Clearly he doesn't. In that interview, he showed that he knows people doesn't matter. The question is whether or not he's an insider.
I didn't finish the sentence there, to be clear. It's not just knowing people, but go ahead.
Whatever you were going to say afterwards didn't matter, okay? He's not a member of the DNC, and he doesn't appear to have any special connection to members of the DNC.
Hold on, this interview is not a representation of his connections, right? Like, I think you're seeing this and going, okay, he clearly didn't have another pathway.
Whether or not he was an insider.
It was an underbelly assumption we're talking about.
Do you think he's an insider for the DNC?
I think he's a Democratic Party insider.
Do you think that he's an insider for the DNC?
I think he's a Democratic Party insider.
Do you think he's an insider for the DNC, yes or no?
I think he's a Democratic Party insider. Why is this important? Let's talk about why this is important. I've never said that the DNC, and this is, again, the functional purpose of the DNC is different than the DNC.
Do you think he's an insider for the DNC?
Who in this room has worked for the DSCC or for a Democratic Party candidate? Raise your hand. I'm raising my hand. None of the three of you are raising your hand, correct? Okay. So when we talk about, for example, when I worked for the DSCC, the Democratic Central Campaign Committee.
So when I ask a question, you won't answer it, and then you're claiming that the question isn't
even
relevant
you know why.
to your
Why am I
argument.
not answering it? Stephen, why am I not answering it?
Because you think it's going to hurt your argument.
No, it's because I think it's irrelevant to my argument.
When
I say an insider, I don't mean literally at the DNC, because the way the DNC, the DSCC, the DCCC, the DSLC all work.
It's your time you're wasting. The reason why that's not true is because if it was truly irrelevant to your argument, then you would just answer it, and then we would just move on. That's why I do this tons.
Okay, fine. Ask it again. Go ahead.
Do you think that Ken Martin is an insider to the DNC?
Ken Martin?
Or not Ken Martin. Do you think that Jon Favreau is an insider?
No.
Okay.
I mean,
minor mistake. Kill him.
That's never a point I've made. He's an insider of the Democratic Party. The way the party works, and if you've interacted with the party at all, you know this. It's cross organization departments. You have the DCCC, you have the DSCC, you have the DSLC, you have the DNC.
Sure.
You have
Is Jon Favreau a member of any of the organizations that you just mentioned, or does he have a special?
No, and yet he's still an insider. So, for example, when I worked, hold on.
I don't care about you worked. If you want to waste the rest of the 2 minutes describing an irrelevant point, go for it. Or can I ask my question? Okay. Does he have a special connection to anybody in any of the organizations that you just mentioned?
You're so emotional. Yeah.
He does.
Yeah.
Then why is he citing public reports for every single question that he's asking Ken Martin?
Because he thought this interview would be his moment to establish a separation from the party apparatus, which the DNC counts as. And yes, I do think he actually thought this played a role, and I do think, to your point, it was a mission that he had. And in doing that mission, he's not going to go find information for himself. He's going to
Then I agree with everything
make a set of assumptions about how the interview is going to go.
Then it was an outsider, hostile interview. That was my whole argument from the
That
very
doesn't
start
make it
of this.
outsider. Hold on. That doesn't make it outsider. What about that makes it outsider?
The fact that you just said that he was unwilling or unable to gather
Does
insider
not make him
information.
an outsider.
But for that interview, it did. For the purposes of that interview, yes.
Not in any way that should matter to this conversation. If an insider decides to use all their privileged access to information, we wouldn't suddenly call them not an employee.
It's not about being an employee. It's about. That's why I said, and you can go back and listen to this conversation, by the way. That's why I said the function that he was serving in that interview was to be on the opposite team. He was representing a different team in that interview. That was his function.
I don't think so, right? And that's my point to you. Like, this benefits the party, because the party as a whole, DNC, DCCC,
I just asked
DSCC.
you if it benefited it, and your answer was. I guess your answer
What?
was
No,
yes, because now
100%.
some people feel like they can have the conversation they couldn't before. It's the most tenuous, like.
Why do you not take that seriously? What is brain
Because I
broken
think
about you that you don't think that's important?
It's not brain broken. I think that anybody could have had the conversation before. You haven't given a single example of these types
Why
of
do you know what?
ever
Wait, so
happening
where
in
is
an
it, by the way?
outside
Where is it?
relationship.
People could have had it, right? Where is it? Where is that conversation happening? Where do you have evidence that the conversation's happening? Where do you have evidence? Where is the party showing you, Stephen, that it's actually having this conversation in a way that makes you feel like you understand that they're capable of this conversation, that they're actually intellectually capable, willing to have this conversation. Where's the evidence?
Keep wasting time. So at the end of that interview, Ken Martin listed or rattled off, I think, like 6 or 7 different people where he was like, oh, well, ask her how she feels, or ask this person how they feel, or ask this person how they feel, or ask this person how they feel. So
those are people that he funds with DNC money. That was not about process, and that was not about internal interrogation. That was him going, hey, look at these people who are winning. Which, by the way, to the point I made, Democrats always do this. They win midterms, and they say, oh, look at the great things that we're doing, and then they go lose because they might have taken the wrong lessons or aren't exposing the lessons, kind of more broadly speaking, because midterms are very different from generals. What you just said was people Ken Martin funds, he uses examples of people who like him, obviously.
Okay. I mean, I can't, if that's the point you're going to bring up, I can't counter your point to the one that you brought up with no evidence. So there's no way that I can counter this. I guess it's possible that the DNC is completely and totally dysfunctional, and I'm just supposed to take that on your word with absolutely zero evidence for that claim because somebody who's doing a hostile interview said it. So
so I think you and I could sit on whatever sides of that question that we're talking about, and then we would say, okay, maybe it's good, regardless of whether you can bring evidence or I can't bring evidence, that we decide evidence itself is valuable. There's something to if PodSafe is even going to be analyzed for this, and they are, right? You and everybody else is yelling about them. Ken is going to be evaluated for this. All of this essentially means, rather than relying on, kind of, what are people going to feel in the abstract about the idea of a party being internally motivated? Well, now we get to see some of the internal mechanics play out. If it's true that people view John, and it's true, as at least some part an insider, or as some part of the establishment, and these are the people that they always accuse, as they do. And as you see, by the way, the right makes these accusations too. Oh, these people are the ones still making choices for the party. These are the people who are running by the administration.
The right does this as a bad faith debate tactic because they know that it's a weak point to hit on. They don't
and
actually
I think the left has a good critique about this internally that is hard to address when we always hide the ball.
Okay.
So again, I go back to 2016.
Standard, and no other part of the entire planet has ever held to this standard. It's a ridiculous standard on its face.
Why do we have to care about whether it's ridiculous and not whether or not we just address it? So again, if it can be used against us,
because if it's ridiculous and it's not the norm, there's probably a good reason why it's not the norm, and the reason why is because if you have.
What do you think would happen? What do you think would happen? Actually, this is great. This is a great point. What do you think would happen if they release this report? If it has nothing damning in it, okay, which he says over and over and over again in that stupid fucking interview.
100%.
If there's nothing damning, why can't we just fucking keep to the idea
people are gonna,
that?
Why are you asking me and then not letting me answer the question? The reason what's going to happen is anybody is going to look to take a bite off of whatever they want of that report to further whatever their narrative is, and they're going to use it to further the infighting.
Except there's two things. One, the things that you're worried about them using as a weapon, everyone already has an opinion on. No one's going to change their mind because of the IP shit that might exist in the report.
It'll just strengthen it, though.
It's not. There's no strengthening it. Everyone's already at the extremes. There's absolutely no strength. You say this all the time. People are either brain broken on this or not, in your view, and it's not going to change anyone's opinion. There's no strengthening, and so this is already the conversation. By releasing the report, you can at least we're willing to have the dialogue. At least we're willing to show you some of the data, and in addition, there's probably other interesting things there that the party. Whether we talk about the apparatuses of the party, the heads of the state, or even the polity, as in the people, will benefit from seeing or find interesting or intellectually interesting and go, oh, I can trust this party more because it's not trying to hide the ball from me. So if you're saying they're going to weaponize it, you have to tell me why that matters. There's nothing that they're going to do in a weaponization that will actually harm the party. If the standard becomes everything Hassan might tweet about or do a Twitch stream about is going to be weaponized, and so we must bury anything that he's going to potentially do, that's a terrible standard. Like, what is the standard that you have?
All right. Thank you. We appreciate it. We'll see you next call in, okay?
Oh, wow.
Yes!
You're not going to respond to that?
No, you wasted all your time yapping and rambling, because every time you're making a weak point and you know it's a weak point, you have to fill like 20 different filibuster things in the end to try to...
You're being cowardly. Answer my question.
I'm not being cowardly.
What's the standard of weaponization? What's the standard of weaponization?
You wanted to bring up Hassan again. I guess it's whatever Hassan tweets. That's what you just said.
So triggered!
Yes. No, you said it was whatever Hassan tweets. I agree with you. That's the standard. Yes, 100%. Okay. Bye. Love you.
Love you too.
Morgan.
Hello. Sorry. I'm playing League. That guy's clearly an anti-fan. That's all I have to say. There's that guy provides no value. He's very clearly just gonna fucking betray you and be on another panel in like 2 or 3 weeks. That's it. Bye.
Thank you, Morgan. Jock rates, go ahead.
True.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
How does my mic sound? There's a shitload of construction happening
That's so good. That's good.
outside.
Go ahead.
Okay, sweet. First of all, you guys should bring that guy on last next time because he takes a while.
I've heard that.
So 2 things that we could talk about. I'll let you guys decide.
You decide.
Number
You decide. 15 minutes left on these. Go.
All right.
You decide. Just pick a thing. Yeah.
All right, we'll go through the faster one. I have a list of some rhetorical lessons that I've heard you say that you've kind of taken away over your time debating and stuff. And I wanted to just name them and then have you, maybe Dan, Mr. Mooten, everybody here can give you a grade on how you think you've been doing on those, and then we can talk about them if you want. What do you think of that?
Sure, pick the top 3, go.
Okay, first one. I'll pick the top 3, okay. In that case, let's go with this one. So, positive positions spam. This has been a discussion recently. The idea of using more positive positions. How do you think you do on that? Yeah, what would you give yourself maybe on a scale?
What was the last debate that I had?
The last debate that you had? I don't remember.
I feel like I haven't had any debates recently, so it's hard to say.
Yeah. Well, what about also? I'm also in your YouTube videos. I would say that, not just in debating. Just in general, how do you think you do on that?
I would have to think back to my last debate. I'm probably better than I was in the past, but I probably could still improve on it.
Mr. Mooten and Dan, what do you guys think?
I have no idea. I'm going to be honest. I don't know what your question was.
I think I generally try to point out more positives of what like Biden and the Democratic Party accomplished, and to have like a positive position on like, look, I think that Biden did good on this. I don't think the senility was anywhere near the level you guys thought it was. I think that it's good when the United States is, playing police sometimes with other countries. I don't think that every foreign policy intervention we have is bad. Like I think I try to present a slightly more positive version of the stuff than just being on the negative side of things, or at least in the past.
Yeah, I agree. I think the one place that I would say you can improve on this a little bit more is in your YouTube videos, because I find that in a lot of the recent videos, one I can think of is one where you're talking about Vosh is one that I can think of recently. You spend most of the videos you tearing down the other person, which is good. You're very good at that. But I think for somebody who's not a audience member, somebody who's not already a DGG or something, they kind of don't understand what you're tearing them down for and what your positive position is. I've heard you give them, so I know that you have these positive positions, but I think for somebody who's just stumbling across your channel, they might watch a video like that and just really not know what you're for, if that makes sense.
Sure.
Okay.
All right. Another one, this one is big for me. Making fun of unserious people and unserious positions. How do you think you've done on that?
As in like doing it more or doing it less?
However you think you're doing on that, if you think you should do it more or less.
I feel like I've pointed that out a lot more, but I feel like politics in general has become a lot more unserious, so...
What's your position on that, Color?
I think that you are doing a lot better about that recently, but I think you can push it with certain people especially. I think you can push it much harder than you are. So like an example I can think of is there was a time, I think it was maybe a month ago, maybe more, you were debating a couple of conservatives and they hit you with the classic, I don't know about that, and then you just reflected it back to them when they started talking about the next thing. You just hit them with a, I don't know about that, I don't know what you're talking about, to kind of like show them how ridiculous what they were doing was. I think that was great. That was very funny. It really shut them up after that. But I think in general, you can maybe draw in more people by memeing on these people more. So like, for example, projection is a big thing that I see all the time when you're talking to conservatives or just a lot of people in general. You can see a lot of projection happening. I think it'd be funny as hell if you had something like a projector screen in the background that you could turn on. It says projection. Or when somebody does a dog whistle, if you like pulled out a whistle or something like that. Just like little funny memes I think could make good clips and extend your reach in things like YouTube videos, shorts, and I think it really does point out how ridiculous other people are.
Okay.
We'll get him a whistle.
I like the whistle idea. I thought that'd be fun.
Okay.
And then the last one, since we're only doing 3, utilizing bad faith tactics, or maybe more generally learning from the bad faith tactics of your opponents. Do you think you should be using some of those tactics, like the things that you've picked up on other people doing? Or is it like...
Probably not. I think they generally just annoy me, and I probably don't want to, but like being able to counter them more effectively and holding people to answer questions or whatever better is, I think, always good. I think I do a better job of that than I used to several years ago, but it's the thing I could always improve on.
Okay. What do you think about, dude, my queen, Hillary Clinton, the public-private positions? What about, are there positions that you think should be held more privately and others that should be held more publicly? Because I think a lot of the positions I hear you have, I think are very good policy positions, but they don't really resonate well in a general way. So what do you think about that? Are there positions that you think maybe you like to keep within the stream, within the DGG audience, keep it a little more quiet, and then other positions that are easier to argue or more generally appealing that you think are something you'd like to blast out more?
Maybe, but I mean, like, I'm not running for office, so I don't care as much about having some unpopular opinions, since it's not like I'm going to lose an election based on it. But, like, depending on the platform I'm on, I'm generally just going to speak about it. It really just depends on what we're talking about. But I'm not about to go to some debate forum and then, like, you know, rattle off my most conservative economic policy positions or something, or talk about things that I know are super unpopular with the audience that I'm speaking to. It just depends, I guess, on the platform, yeah.
Yeah, I think you do a pretty good job of picking and choosing what you're gonna fight on, and based on the audience. What about in the broader Democratic Party? Are there positions that you think should stay private, but you still think maybe are good positions, and other ones that we should be pushing on a lot harder?
Like for the Democratic Party as a whole?
Yeah, I think maybe an easier way to think of it is maybe in buckets of like, green would be a position that any Democrat, period, should be championing. Yellow is maybe a position that can be public in some districts, maybe not so much in a more conservative district, and like a red position is something that maybe you would support, but you don't think Democrats should talk about it.
I don't know. I'd have to think a lot about this. I do think that we have to get rid of the Trump tax cuts, and that's probably going to be an unpopular position, so maybe that would have to be a thing that you don't talk about as much. And then I think that things like packing the Supreme Court or getting rid of the filibuster might not be good things to run on, but are probably important things that we should be pushing for. But, yeah.
What are the big winners rhetorically, you think?
I don't know. Anything involving fucking billionaires or APAC, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, we're
Thanks,
gonna move
guys.
on because we got a ton of people and
Definitely.
appreciate
Peace.
it.
Have a good day.
Wrecking Ball, come on in.
Hey man, how you guys doing?
Good.
Can hear the stress in your guys' voice. It's a time right now.
We're never stressed.
So I won't take too long, and that was a long conversation previously that I only caught the end of. But I guess overall, at this point, that Jon Favreau interview was atrocious, but it happens. At this point, you think it just makes more sense.
Probably ending around the same time he
There's
does.
no winning. Like, we were never going to win before, but now there's really no winning, and now we're just taking flack for not releasing it, even though there probably was good
back
reasons
though
to
later
not release it
today.
to begin with. But at this point, it almost feels like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't, but at least you can salvage some level of that quote-unquote credibility.
If
that
they,
everyone
like,
talks
I can
about.
give you, and I'll bet you 2-1 on this, or anybody. If they were to release that report, no matter what's in there about Israel-Palestine, the lefty, weird, tanky people are going to repeat that ad nauseum all the way up to and maybe even through the midterms, 100%. No matter what they say. So, like, why release it? I mean, like nobody really cares that much about it aside from the people that are harping on it over and over again on the far left. Like, I don't think there are going to be voters like in the midterms and like local races. When I say local, I mean like for the House of Representatives, where there's like the Republican is like, how are you going to trust this guy when Ken Martin, he's part of the DNC, that's like the Democratic National Committee, that's like the people who kind of like, well, it's not. Well, yeah, anyway, they had an autopsy they did. Not a real autopsy, but like a report of why they lost the last election, and they didn't release that report. Like, no one's going to give a fuck about this. Literally nobody will care about this.
The counterpoint is, I completely agree. It doesn't matter what's in there. They're going to get their talking points out from it. But the counterpoint to that, I think, would be, it doesn't matter what's in there. So, like, at this point, if you release it, no one's going to care whatever the Israel Palestine stuff is. If it's damning or not, it doesn't matter, right? That's not going to sway people. But I do think you will see much more mainstream push from the Fox and I'll say just general mainstream media about the DNC not being transparent. It's just BS crap that we see right now.
I'm curious. I don't know. Maybe somebody go find articles. The first articles I'd seen them talking about it were talking about Jon Favreau's interview about it with Ken Martin. Maybe the Republicans have brought it up in the past, but like that would be a crazy thing. The Republicans are so not transparent.
I don't think it'd be the Republicans though. I think it's the problem. I think it would be like your CNNs. and your ABCs now that are going to bring it up.
Well, yeah, that's
not
because they're fucking
necessarily
retarded.
Fox.
But I mean, like, if
completely
anybody that would
agree.
retardedly bring that up is also probably also going to jump on the Israel-Palestine shit or whatever else they see in there. Like, it's just everybody's going to take a chunk at it, and they're just going to use it to, like, nothing good will ever come from releasing a thing like that publicly. It just would never, ever, ever happen. It's always everybody's going to take a bite out of the piece that they want, and they're going to use it to further the fight. Right now, they can fight about it not being released. If it gets released, though, there's going to be so many different people. I imagine they can just take a chunk out of some particular part and then fight with it. So I think you just bury it, ignore it. Some people will rumble, groan about it, and you just move on from it. But
So then, as a counter to that, I would say then, is there benefit in, ironically, fragmenting the things that people are taking a chunk out of, right? So right now, there's only one message, which is the DNC did not release the stupid report, right? That's the only thing anyone's going to say. If it is released...
The future message will be like, oh, leftist... they probably... Oh, we'll call him leftist. Leftist Jon Favreau was able to get the report released. What a hero. And now we learn about Gaza. It's a lose situation now.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I just, at this point, I almost feel like it's just... It was stupid. It shouldn't have happened, but it did. And I almost feel like there's more to be gained by releasing it simply because it causes the angles of attack to be more fragmented and easier to deal with than right now.
the angles of attack are only effective, though, if you play into them. Like, if you just ignore it, nobody would give a fuck. Nobody even knows what the DNC is. Nobody knows who Ken Martin is, and nobody knows what this autopsy is. It's only effective as long as people are amplifying the attacks. The far left will, because that's what they do, because they want to destroy the Democratic Party. But other than that, like, nobody's gonna... I don't think anybody cares that much. Unless you also amplify, which unfortunately some of them does because they're fucking retarded. But if you just don't amplify the attacks, then nobody's gonna give a fuck.
I haven't looked recently because it's been a weekend, but has there been mainstream pickups on this besides Jon Favreau? Like, I'd be curious to dig through and see, like, has this...
Jon Favreau is not mainstream.
I think Axios
No,
had
I mean,
report
like, CNN
on it.
talking about it, or Axios talking about the DNC not releasing it prior to Jon Favreau.
Yeah, there was an Axios thing, I think, that mentioned it, but in terms of, like, serious media coverage, I don't think people are talking about this too much.
No one on CNN is fucking spouting off about this in a 5-minute segment. It's enough.
Probably not. That is the oddly weird benefit of the absurd time we live in. There's always so much more shit going on that's way worse.
Yeah, to some extent, yeah, true.
That was it. I just wanted to, talk about that. But also I'll say, man, I know it's stressful. I know you're tired. I can't imagine how absurd it is for you to deal with all that, but keep on keeping on, man. A lot of people are looking to you to keep driving forward on that piece. And I know it's a lot of responsibility, but people do appreciate it. Like, you built a community.
I needed to hear that.
Well, thanks a lot, buddy. I think.
Have a good one.
Take care, guys.
Be careful.
No, he's talking to me.
Fuck you.
All right, Hussein, come torture him.
Oh, what's up? Hi.
Hello.
What's up, guys?
Hi, what's up?
I was gonna ask you about. I don't know how much time you have. It was a while, but if you wanted to get into like a religion conversation, if you're down for that.
What about it?
I don't know.
I
was gonna ask you about your. I know it's been a while. As your previous takes on Islam from a. That's actually how I started watching you, because I was in a teenager like Salafist arc. So, I was watching like Ali Dawah, and he kind of like put me towards your channel, and actually, it kind of made me a liberal. Like oh my god, this guy sucks, and I'm like, I watch him like, yeah, he got some good points, but I was just wondering, do you still have the same positions you had during that arc, or have you kind of like mediated it a little bit?
I have no idea what positions in particular are you talking about.
Okay, so the positions that you, interrupt me if you think I'm wrong. Essentially, your positions during that arc was that, you were saying that while Christianity is bad, a lot of people don't talk about Islam or the bad things about Islam as much, especially in liberal or left-wing circles. And you highlighted some of the things you thought that were bad in Islam, such as like the marriage between Aisha and Muhammad, and like the punishments towards like things such as thievery or sexual assault or.
I think the point I was bringing up back then, this would have been a long time ago, I'm imagining, right? My issue back then was it was this weird thing where everybody in the West, as a response to legitimately a lot of Islamophobia from conservative people, you had this weird like progressive obsession with trying to defend Islam, and like I know the
like wearing hijab became like a huge focal point where every feminist all of a sudden, or like these like woke people on the left were like, oh, actually Islam is beautiful and all of these things are beautiful, and it just got super cringe, and I thought it was a huge like retarded overreaction to conservatives being legitimately Islamophobic.
But do you think now with the conservatives like legitimately like going like fucking like orders of magnitude worse in terms of their Islamophobia, especially like we just watched that thing, you just pulled up the Trump thing with Ilhan Omar calling Somalis like animals or whatever. Do you think now those arguments were not vindicated but kind of made more sense considering what led to what's happening now?
No, I think the weird wokey arguments were still fucking retarded. But I mean, like, you can still fight against Islamophobia. I would have to contextualize, like, what is even happening right now in terms of, because I don't know if it's even Islamophobia, or I feel like it's just racism. Or racism plus xenophobia, nationalism. Yeah.
I think that's really interesting. I think, actually, I don't think most, like, people who criticize... I'll glaze you for a second. I do think you have some good criticism of Islam, which is what kind of brought me out of that. But I think the vast majority of people who do criticize Islam, I don't think it's coming from a place of like genuine intellectual like rigor. It's coming from a place of like, oh, these people are weird and different and they have a different culture than us. Because like when you see a lot of criticism of Islam, like, the criticisms are not levied on Islamic theology. It's levied on Arab culture.
Sure.
And Arab cultural aspects.
And usually the worst of Arab culture in like the worst countries.
Yeah. Yeah, no, exactly. That's exactly my point. So I do think that there are some good criticisms of that, but I feel like also like the Minecraft pickaxe meme, that was a little bit spicy, I would say. That's kind of the main thing that was remembered about that specific arc of yours.
Sure.
And,
although at that point, my main issue with Islam was basically that for a lot of the Red Pill arc, you had this thing coming up where, like, online, a lot of Muslims were super big on the Red Pill shit because they were picking up, like, some celebrities, and I think that Muslims are just happy if anybody's willing to kind of, like, cast their lot in with
it's so
people.
fucking retarded.
Yeah,
bro.
so, like, Andrew Tate and all
Dude,
these
like,
people were hugely celebrated figures, and yeah.
It's just weird because like a lot of Muslims are just like, oh my god, like soy point, they just fucking converted to our religion, and Andrew Tate's legit gambling in fucking like Romania or whatever the fuck he is, and like fucking Sneeko is still like being gay, and like a lot of people are still like being like drinking alcohol. I'm like, dude, they're not following the rules, they're just doing it because you guys are fucking gullible, and you guys you just love when someone converts to their religion. It's just kind of cringe.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. Well, I guess there isn't that much disagreeing, I guess another point, sorry Muchin for DMing you and bullying and fucking harassing you. Okay. Another point I want to bring up is the Syria point. I've been following the developments in Syria recently. Do you think that Trump abandoning the Kurds was a good or bad thing? And let's just start from there. Let's just get your position on Trump abandoning the Kurds.
I think bad.
And then that's the last. You think it was bad? Do you know much about like the PKK, YPG, the Syrian Democratic Forces, and kind of the shenanigans they get up to in eastern Syria?
Yeah. What about
it? Recently, with the agreement between the Syrian central government under Ahmed al-Shara, Mohammed al-Jawlani, whatever you call him, a lot of the SDF forces were kind of integrated into the new Syrian army, and what's resulted from that is that the more radical, like not communists, it's the PKK is a weird entity, but I do think they're socialist adjacent. This weird sect of PKK and YPG, like militants, started going underground and started performing acts of terror on Syrian government, and those are mainly people who are ethnically Kurdish, yes, but they're doing so in sort of like secular nationalism against like the conservative Islamic, like, almost neoliberal economic. So
God, I'm terrible.
I guess I just want to bring this up to kind of like counteract. Like I don't think Trump should just completely abandon the Kurds, just like fuck them really hard. I do think the Kurds are kind of like.
Well, to be clear, my understanding is that there were Kurdish fighters in Syria that we had like worked with. We'd been working with Kurds throughout the Middle East, especially when we were fighting against ISIS. I understand that the KRG is a different entity than in Iraq is a different entity than like the YPK or the PPK, the YPG. or the PKK.
PKK and YPG
and YPG. Are they? Yeah, I understand that they're different, but like broadly, we'd like worked with Kurds in Syria and in Iraq when fighting ISIS. I think we kind of sort of like wink, nudge them when they were fighting Syria. And then obviously Turkey has a huge problem with the I think with the PKK Kurdish
existence of Kurds.
Yeah, well, and the PKK especially, they get into a lot of antics against each other. And we basically, when we withdrew from Syria, whatever forces we had there, it's not that we abandoned them to even get killed by Assad. It's that we abandoned them to let our own ally Turkey just basically fucking run a train on them. Yeah, which is just like they're ally. We can't control anything. Why? Because Trump just didn't care, didn't know. It was just ridiculous. Yeah. I think that was bad. I think it's something about, yeah, we did the same kind of in Afghanistan, apparently, where we abandoned a lot of our people, like that we had worked with as well, and promised visas to and everything else. Yeah.
Well, yeah, Afghanistan is also very complicated. But I guess my main point was like, yeah, the Kurds kind of did get shafted by Trump, but I don't think they should be glamorized in the same way, like in the fashion they are in the West, like these secular freedom fighters.
No, that's retarded. Everything in the Middle East is insanely complicated, and it's why it's stupid. And I always criticize people like, do you really want to help these? Or like, I think people are saying like, well, the new leader of Syria like used to be in the Taliban or Al Qaeda or some shit, and it's like sometimes these.
He was in. Yeah.
Whatever it is, sometimes he's like Al Qaeda in. I don't even know if. I could be wrong on this, but like, I don't even know if Al Qaeda in Yemen even had many connections to. There's a name for the Al Qaeda in Yemen. I forget what it might be called. Al Qaeda in Yemen, but I don't even know if they had strong connections to like Al Qaeda that existed in Afghanistan or like it just. There are so many different groups and people can move between forces, and it's like yeah, when people get super critical of saying like one guy's a good guy, one guy's a bad guy because they fought with this or that in the Middle East is really retarded. I think.
Well, let me provide some context. Al Qaeda in Yemen was called Al Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula. It was kind of headed, he's like the religious leader. The main one was Anwar al-Awlaki. He was the American citizen. Obama kind of fucking murked.
Sure.
And then also like they say Ahmed al-Shara, he was part of ISIS or Al Qaeda. He was part of Jabhat al-Nusra, and Jabhat al-Nusra was an Al Qaeda affiliate. The reason why people say he was part of ISIS is because of misconception. A lot of the fighters, when Jabhat al-Nusra and was being making like leeway into like Syria as like a force against Assad. During this time, Al Qaeda and ISIS had a split between each other. So there was like a religious political dispute between Ayman al-Zawahiri and Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, and eventually that just led to a lot of ISIS fighters. Jabhat al-Nusra fighters leaving Jabhat al-Nusra because they're Al Qaeda affiliated and joining ISIS. So it's like a misconception. Jalali was never part of ISIS. He was never formally really a part of Al Qaeda. He was just a part of Jabhat al-Nusra, which is an Al Qaeda affiliated group. And then he went and he formed Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, HTS, which is less more moderate but more staunchly conservative Islamic militant group, and then he formed the Syrian government. So there's a lot. I completely agree with you. There's a lot of missing context that people have, and they just kind of be like, okay, this guy was the startup part of this group, so he's bad forever now. I don't know. Even though I'm like pretty liberal, I am a Ahmed al-Shara, but I think he's doing pretty well for the country.
Okay. All right.
Okay, that's all. Well.
All right.
Much love. Love you, chat. Love you, Moot. Thank you, Prime Man.
Mashallah.
Be careful.
Mashallah, brother. Mashallah. Okay, bye-bye.
That's it.
All right.
You heading out, Steve?
Yeah. I got things.
Yeah.
I love you guys. It's been fun. I will be back.
We'll do more tomorrow.
I mean, yeah.
Woohoo!
Woo! Woo! Stay safe. Be careful. I love you very much. Don't die.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We're back tomorrow.
Bye. Here I've been finding. Whoa! Okay, we need to find a video real quick. God, I need to go piss so bad. Alright, be right back.
I'm so incredibly sick of MAGA operators who constantly dish it but can't take it whatsoever.
This perfectly describes the entire MAGA movement, a bunch of grown babies who are constantly dishing it out online, constantly attacking people verbally, hinting towards violence, calling to lock up their political opponents. But the moment we reciprocate and actually ask them anything in return, the entire MAGA movement collapses. And that's what we're seeing right now. We are seeing a MAGA movement collapse across the media. We'll talk about the Scott Jennings debacle in just 1 second, but the bigger story that is, really taking storm right now is the fact that the Daily Wire just laid off approximately 50 to 60% of their staffers. We've both been to the Daily Wire studio in Nashville, and it is a massive compound. We can talk about the compound in 1 second, but my main takeaway from this is that all of these conservatives who are saying that, politics is just kind of boring right now, nobody's really paying attention, so people are leaving the Daily Wire and we have to fire people, tells